Let me bang, I man. Do let you bang. Hey, let me bang the cage, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No for KGs, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. We got a special show today. We have three-time NFL Pro Bowl player Shawne Merriman coming on, who's also started his own fight promotion and was doing bare-knuckle boxing or training for that. And then also he wants to fight. He called out Batista. We'll see. That would be a fight I'd pay for that fight. Watch him versus Batista. Come on. That would be a good – I mean, we got to see that fight if that ever happens. And then we also have, of course, my man Shang is here. And Hansen, who has done a little tear. It's like 21 years old and has won a couple fights in the UFC or won one fight. And the last fight was very close. And then that guy, Ace, who got mad at me for the Nick Newell joke, where he's going to be on too. He's a pro jiu-jitsu fighter. So we got quite the show. Shang, how are you, man?
I'm okay, man. Just dealing with my son's getting a little cagey because he really wants to live life and go to the movie, and and he can't.
There's like some kind of feedback again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I hear like a beep, like beep, beep, beep.
Okay. I my phone, cut my phone off.
Oh yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
Now it's on again. Now it's gone.
Okay.
Now it's on. Now it's gone. Now it's on.
What about now?
Now it's good.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's talk about some MMA stuff. So first of all, McGregor finally talked about his fight with Poirier, and he was actually a really good sport about it. He was a good sport. He said, Poirier was a better man, as that night, good for leg kicks. But he said he blamed his preparation and focus because he was focused on Manny Pacquiao and not Dustin Poirier.
Then he didn't give Poirier props then. Isn't that kind of not giving Poirier props by saying it?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume. And also, I mean, you're at the point now where, look, I appreciate the honesty. And if that's really what happened, that's what happened. And I believe him. At the same time, his coaches, his people around him, they have to say, listen, man, you're not fighting Manny Pacquiao. I mean, when you're training for Manny Pacquiao, that's a whole different fight than Dustin Poirier. Manny Pacquiao is going to throw you 10,000 punches around in a boxing match and not kick you or take you to the ground. And, Conor's smart enough to realize, like, come on, man. Like, I understand you could be getting 50, 100 million in Pacquiao, but guess what? People aren't going to be that excited to see it now because you blew it. You focus on the guy right in front of you, especially when the guy's Dustin Poirier.
Especially someone at the level of Dustin Poirier. I mean, I just feel like that's a cop-out. I like Conor McGregor, but that was some cop-out shit, and his coaches should have been on his ass that, chances of Pacquiao taking you down, slim and none.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I appreciate the honesty, and I understand what he's saying. And I guess if I had 100,
he's not being honest. That's not being honest. Come on, man.
Look, if he said it, McGregor's not the kind of guy after a loss to really make it. I mean, I guess he has made excuses, but maybe he was focusing on Manny Pacquiao. But at this point in his career, at this level of fighter he is, dude, what are you doing? Like,
I disagree. I think that's an excuse. It sounds like an excuse. First, if he'd have used the long layoff, I would have gave him that. But I'm not giving him this one. Okay, Poirier was the better man, and leave it at that. Give Poirier his props.
Look, a lot of times fighters have to tell themselves that too. A lot of times fighters, they have to tell themselves there's a reason they lost because they don't want to actually believe the guy was better than them. And that's the way to do it. I mean, look, he looked great against Donald Cerrone. He looked great in the first round against Dustin Poirier. He won that round. He
absolutely won that round.
So,
and he was,
he just kind of faded in the second. He got caught. He wasn't keeping his hands up. But, hey, man, listen. You don't keep your left hand up against Manny Pacquiao, you're going to go out a lot quicker than Dustin Poirier. So
it'll be maybe first round.
So I don't even think he was really playing that well for Manny Pacquiao. If that's how you're planning for a fight Manny Pacquiao and your hands are down and you're letting the guy punch you over and over and over in the face, maybe the whole training is a little anyway.
Yeah. So, Poirier maybe compared to Pacquiao would have thrown 50 punches.
50? I mean, 50.
50 minimum.
No. Old Manny Pacquiao would have thrown 400 punches in a round. This newer Manny Pacquiao might have thrown 200. But
yeah, exactly.
Listen, man, I mean, it is what it is, and I understand. And I understand, though. Look, everyone's a human being. And when you have $100 million draped over you, it's hard to not focus on that. And the way you dismantle Donald Cerrone, it's hard to not think that you're going to do the same thing to Dustin Poirier.
You can't say that because Donald Cerrone had been dismantled before on more than one occasion.
And Dustin Poirier got knocked out by Michael Johnson and by other guys. I mean,
but it's been a long time. Poirier has been on a tear, though. And I think they didn't give the thing that makes me go, what the fuck? You're not going to give Poirier his props? They should give him props across the board. He has been the man. He beat Hooker. Even though they say, oh, well, he didn't knock him out. He still beat him.
The problem is Khabib, man. The problem is that Khabib just ran through everybody.
But that's Khabib. He's a fucking mutant.
I know. But the problem is when you have a guy that good who just runs through Justin Gaethje, who basically wins every round against Dustin Poirier, who wins every round but one against Conor McGregor, it's hard to then say, well, the guy in second place is now the champ because this guy's not back. That's why
you can't say that. He retired.
That's why they're not giving him props. That's why they're not giving him props.
No, that's not it.
You take Khabib out of the equation, and which now he is, but the way he just dismantled everybody, it's not like it's a definite. Plus, it's pretty close. I get it. He beat McGregor, but Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, I mean, those guys are right there. They're right there with Dustin Poirier. And you could argue that those guys, No,
I don't. I don't believe we're just disagreeing. I think that Khabib, you can't give him that because Khabib retired. So right now, once you retire, whoever retired.
Yeah, but he retired with an asterisk. He retired with the fact of, let me see how good these guys are going to be. I agree.
That's bullshit.
I agree. Look, if he actually, Dana White came on TV and said, if these guys impress me, he might come back. He did say that. That's not a guy who's fully retired, okay? A guy who's fully retired says, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Right.
A guy who says these guys might impress me. Anyway, we still have to talk about Tyron Woodley has a fight coming up. We have to talk about O'Malley, Almeida. Chris Weidman got COVID. Sadiq Youssef's got a fight. But right now we have a girl who, I've been a fan of this girl since she was like 11. I mean, that sounds really creepy.
That sounds a little creepy.
That sounds very creepy. But she was on the podcast back in her Invicta days. I think after her first fight, I saw something in this girl. And I said, you're going to be a star. I said, you're going to make it to the big show. And the time I think she was like, her record was like 0-15, okay? Yeah. She was, and then here we are, fast forward 3 years. She's in the UFC. She won her first fight, arguably won her second fight. It was very, very close.
Very suspect. That was suspect.
And she's right there. And she's not even in a weight. She's like 105 pounds. She's fighting up a weight class. Kay Hansen, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Not as good as you. Congrats on making a big show. I mean, how did it feel to be called up? You felt like a 1 week notice in the UFC?
Yeah. I for sure wasn't expecting the call, when I got it. I don't know. It was kind of out of the blue, but I feel like that's when opportunities, like the best ones, kind of hit you when you're not expecting them. So, yeah, right. I got it on 6 days notice, and I was like, all right, I guess we're doing it.
Not only did you do it, but you beat Jin Yu Fry, who was the former Invicta champion. This girl had a lot more experience than you. And what I like about UK is a lot of people that they get down 1 round, 2 rounds, they kind of they mentally check out. They go, all right, I'll get the next one. They coast. They go, I don't want to. I just won't get finished. It'll be a moral victory. Not you. You fight till after.
Yeah. I mean, I've had fights to where like the Sharon Jacobson fight, like I was getting my ass kicked for like every second of the fight except for the last 10, and I pulled out a submission, you know? So if anyone knows like that anything can happen at any moment, it's me. So for me, like, I don't care if I'm down 1 round, 2 rounds, 2.5 rounds. Like, I know it takes 1 shot, you know, 1 punch, 1 takedown, and that's it. So,
well, to me, you're like a honey badger. You don't give a fuck. You will just, you're like, honey badger's like, oh, it's not over. And that's not over.
It's not over until, you know, the 15 minutes is over. So, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I don't ever get discouraged either because, like I said, I know it takes 1 punch, 1 takedown, and that's all you need to finish a fight.
What's going through your head? Like, it's 3rd round, you're down 2-0. Is there like is it like a little angel in you or like a little, like a
oh, what?
I feel like in that moment, like there's so much going on in your head that like you can't even like decipher like I don't know, I'm just kind of on autopilot. Like, you know, I'm in the gym every day, so for me, it's just another day in the office, and I try to keep it, you know, that mindset of like, okay, I've been in this situation before when it comes to sparring, when it comes to grappling, so I try to just react how I would in practice.
And you're I mean, my wife's hard to finish. Trust me, I tried different ways. But you are impossible to like. The only time you ever been finished is when your head was gushing blood, and you were like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep moving. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to keep moving. And like, as long as you're moving, I think you're good. Unless you're, you know, profusely bleeding out of your head, then they stop.
And then you kind of go,
I can't control that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was insane. Now you're 21. You fight at 115, but what do you walk around at?
I walk around at like 130, 135 max. You know, I try to stay at 130. And then as like the fight goes, I try to taper down like little by little. You know, 130, 125. And then on fight week, last time I only had to cut a couple pounds because I was really good and really disciplined up to the fight. So I'm hoping to do the same this time.
Good. Now, you still have the same boyfriend?
No.
Whoa. What happened there? Because you guys were like in love. He was your training partner. He was Latino.
Yeah.
You had that whole like.
I don't know. Stuff happens. It's been a while. It's been like since the summer.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, I mean,
so you're thirsty. I like it. So guys out there, don't try to pick you up. Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. A lot of these guys out there, they see you. They see the American flag. They see you shooting guns. Are you getting a lot of guys hitting you up in your DMs?
Yeah, I get more than I'd like. I try to ignore, like, you know, like the little others folder on your DMs. I try to ignore those and not even click on them because they're too much. Whether it's someone like saying like, "Oh, you suck," or it's someone saying, "I'm in love with you." It's like either way, it's like, what's the point of like, that, you know?
Yeah, unless they say you suck, I'm in love with you. That's kind of like you get.
Yeah, but that's one that's weird.
Like that before too. Is people are weird. Like people are so weird.
that's so strange. Like, I love you, but you suck. I mean, that's a creepy dude that got a van and candy.
Yeah.
I would not. Yeah, I wouldn't even answer those.
Yeah, stay focused, Kay. You got a championship on the line. All right, you gotta actually focus. You got a fight coming up against Shang. Shang's a tough girl. I know her. She's strong as hell. She's like you. She's feisty. What are we gonna do for this fight?
You know, I don't know. I think we've both probably known about each other. You know, for a while. We're kind of like on the same up and coming. And we're both well-rounded. We're both really game. So I don't really know where it's gonna go. It could stay up on the feet. It can go to the ground. We're both good, kind of everywhere. You know, so I'm excited. It's gonna be kind of like a clash of the like. You know, the feistiness, I guess.
Well, I think it's going to come down to like who's more game, honestly.
Exactly.
Because you both were like, if you both are like here, but if your gameness is here, then it's like, oh, okay, we both were equal on that stance, but I'm going in harder.
I think it's going to come down to like an attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
in
the fight, which I'm excited for. You know, every opponent I face is a little different. And you know, I don't watch much tape or anything, but like I said, I've known about her for a while, like back like in my Invicta days, and like I used to watch a lot of tape, so like I used to watch, you know, some of her stuff. So I know a little bit more about her than I have like say Corey McKenna. I didn't watch one video of Corey. Like I knew of her, you know, but I just don't like watching videos. But I did watch like Cheyenne back when I was into watching videos when I was in Invicta. So I know a little bit more about her than my other opponents. You know, I'm excited for this one. I think it's gonna be a really good one for everyone.
Good. Well, that was a great scrap. The Corey fight was great. I mean, that was you guys were both like just going at it and so many different positions. I mean, it was a really, really entertaining fight.
Thank you. Yeah.
Were you surprised you didn't get the win?
Yeah, you know, I'm super hard on myself, and I've been in like close fights before where I've been like, no, like I lost, like, because I'm super hard on myself. You know, I expect a lot of myself. But I think this was the only close fight that I was in that when I didn't get the nod, I was like kind of confused. You know, it was close in a sense, but I do think I did enough to win the fight in general. I've talked to a lot of people, you know, and a lot of people agree with me. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm in here for the long run. You know, I'm in the UFC. I'm where I want to be. I put on a good performance, so it's like, yeah, it's a loss in my record. But at this point, I don't really care about my record. I'm where I need to be, and as long as, you know, I show that I'm game and that I'm here to fight, you know, I think those wins will come. And I think that's kind of what happens when you leave it in the judge's hands. You know.
And you know what I really respected about you was like some stuff came out where like you quoted Candace Owens or something in the past, or something happened. And people were like coming at you, and you were like, "Listen, I was 19 years old."
I was 18 years old, and I was like in a super shitty like home situation, and like, you know, I was like had a manipulative like father and shit, and it's like, man, like don't come at me with like shit that I did when I was 18, because I'm sure when everyone else is 18, they're doing way more stupid shit than me, and I'm not putting them on blast, like, right, you know. So it's like, dude, you live and you learn, and like that's just how it is, you know.
No, even if you had the same opinion as Candace Owens, that would be okay too. People are allowed to have their own opinions, you know.
Right? Yeah. What's the fuck that got to do with you fighting?
Like, you know, I was in that kind of like home situation, and then under that, like, you know, kind of like watchful eye, you know, of like my dad, and like I kind of had no choice but to like be a certain way. But it's like, it's almost like in the public eye, like you're not allowed to like change or like evolve. You know what I mean? It's like once you say a certain thing or do a certain thing that people don't agree with, and it's like, I was 18. Like, you know how many people are doing the stupidest shit at 18, and that's the most stupid thing I've done.
No,
you know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy to me. And like, I try not to respond to that kind of stuff on social media, but I kind of like made it a point to be like, look, you don't know me. Like, you can talk all the shit you want, but like, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. Like, you don't know anything I've been through. So like, maybe like take a step back before you just like attack.
No, I love that response. That was, to me, was like, you know what? You're like, I've evolved as a person.
Yeah.
I don't feel the way I did when I was 18. I'm now 19 or 20. And this is and when I'm 23, I'll feel differently. And when I'm 30, I'll feel differently. People are allowed to have different opinions. I mean, and I love that. I love that that's how you came out with it, because some people, they go, they either apologize in some bullshit apology where you
I'm not gonna apologize. And that's the thing too, is like, I'm not gonna apologize. Like, I don't have the same beliefs I had when I wore that bra, but at the same time, like, even if I did, like, I'm not gonna apologize for like
a bra.
Yeah, it was like a sports bra. It was like a weigh-ins, like it was a sports bra, and it was actually a Kanye West quote that like, and it's just that I like the way Candace Owens thinks, but it was a Kanye West quote.
Right.
That's what I wore to weigh-ins, and
where did you get that?
My dad had it printed. I don't know.
Your dad had you print. Your dad gave you a Candace Owens bra.
That's a crazy story in itself, but like I wore that sports bra. I was literally 18, you know, and that's all I did. And people like resurfaced that photo, and like Twitter just went fucking apeshit about it.
A lot of people became fans of yours the other way. A lot of people
and that's the thing, is like, no matter what I believe or what I wear or what I say, whether my opinions change or not, like someone's gonna hate me and someone's gonna love me for it. Yeah. So like at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, it's just something I guess you kind of have to learn to deal with, you know, when you're fighting in the UFC, especially like, I don't know.
Well, as a father, I know I'm not going to buy my daughter a Candace Owens bra.
Yeah, don't ruin your future.
You might get a little backlash. But no, I think that you having your, like, fuck it, you got your opinion. And a comic friend of mine, Jeff Garcia, said, look, my ex-wife don't like me, so I'm just going to be me. Fuck it. Like, you have to have that fucking attitude.
Exactly.
And my pops used to push me when I lost a tournament and the motherfucker was on my back. I'm like, look, man, I lost. Keep it moving. And I think you got to have that mentality. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, and if I like let every comment or a message that like I saw bother me, I would just be miserable all the time.
Well, the fact that you won a fight in the UFC, you're so happy.
Yeah.
You're 20 years old. It's the highlight of your life. You worked so hard. You turned down Harvard to become a pro fighter, and then people are gonna find a picture of you. From, like,
and it's not because like it's not like they even like found the picture and messaged me and were like, hey, like what's up with this? They like literally like put it as like a headline, like, and I was like, you don't like I was 18, I'm 21 now. Like, don't you think you could have been like, hey, like, what's up with this? Like,
here's the thing. I don't agree with Candace Owens. I mean, what I heard, so I agree with some of the stuff she says, but most of it I don't. But she's allowed to say that.
Exactly.
It's like, even if people are allowed to have different opinions.
Yeah.
That's what makes the country great.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like I said, like they just put that picture out there and then they bashed me for it. And like, I just put out that quick response, like, look, I was in a certain situation, like I was 18, like I'm allowed to fucking change my opinions, and even if I did, like, fucking so be it. But like I said, if I let every headline about me or every message or every comment about me bother me, like I would be constantly firing back comments on Twitter.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You have a career. You have a career. You're 21. You're going to be a champion one day. You've already had you have amazing fights. Now I know you were training with your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And you guys broke up.
Yeah.
So you guys still training together?
I mean, he was here in Orange County for college, and then he graduated and went back to San Diego.
Oh, okay. So that's easier.
We were just training at the same gym. It's not like it was his gym or like whatever.
Okay, got it.
So nothing much really changed there.
So it's not like Cobra Kai? Or,
no, it's nothing.
Nothing's like Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Some of the fights in that are just horrible.
But they're fun.
I've only heard
I've
about
seen it. It's horrible.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You'll love it. Kay, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
You think the fight, did you really? Ralph Macchio fighting?
I think it's better than a lot of shit. No, of course, it like 30-on-30 karate fights don't break out in high school. But I think that it was entertaining to watch.
Okay, right, yeah. I mean, he throws a round kick. His foot drags across the ground. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Right.
He's horrible. But I wanted to ask you a question. A question.
Yeah.
I mean, being in the UFC, is that like a lot of fighters say that it's a different level. I was listening to Chandler talk about the difference between some of the other organizations and the UFC. I heard that they're thorough as fuck. Like they really are on their shit. Is that how it is?
Like the UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. You know, it's crazy. Like, they just have so many resources. And I think, like, for me, one of the biggest things I've tried to take advantage of is, like, the UFC PI, like, nutritionists and stuff. Like, they literally, like, I have their cell phone number and I could text them at any point and get any answers to anything. Like, the resources they have and, like, I don't know, it's crazy. They're so on top of things. And, I mean, it is a different level for sure. Obviously, they have the means to do that. You know what I mean? Like, Invicta was amazing. You know, Invicta was, like, probably, like, one of the coolest experiences I got, like, working with them, working with the staff. But obviously, like, the UFC, like, they have different resources and different, you know, like, they have more money, they have more this, they have more that. So it's really been cool getting to, like, take advantage of all that. You know, I wish COVID wasn't so, like, annoying because, like, for the PI, you have to, like, get a COVID test, you know, like, within 3 days of you going. And, like, it's kind of, like, you have to make appointments. But, I mean, either way, it's still, like, it's been super cool, like, getting to experience everything.
Now, do people talk to you sometimes like you're a kid? Because you are essentially kind of a kid, and I could see that. Yeah,
I mean, yes and no. I get a lot of questions like regarding my age, but it's hard because like I am young, but like you know, like I don't know. I've kind of been through a lot in my like young life, so like I don't feel like I'm young. I carry myself really like, you know, like I'm mature and like really professionally. So I get a lot of questions like during interviews about like my age and stuff, but I feel like when it comes to like the people at the PI and like the staff, like, you know, they treat me just like everyone else. Like they don't kind of like treat me as a kid because of the way I carry myself.
So you don't talk to your parents anymore?
Me and my mom are really close.
Okay, your mom you talk to. All right.
Yeah.
Now, are you living by yourself?
Yeah, I am.
You're 21, living in Orange County by yourself.
Yep.
You have a dog, right? All right. So what's a day for you like?
I mean, I kind of train the same during camp and outside of camp. It's just kind of like the intensity of the sessions, you know? Right now it's kind of crazy. Like yesterday, Tuesday is my heaviest day. I do 10 to 11 Muay Thai, 11 to 12 MMA sparring, and then I do 12:30 to 2 strength and conditioning, and then I'll go back at night to 8 to 9:30 striking again. Wow. And then today I went
4 practices a day.
Yeah, that's usually how I go. Most days like two to 4 a day. Wow. I don't know. I'm kind of like a busybody. Like I don't like to sit still. Like I get really antsy. So my coaches get mad at me for like overtraining. So recovery and like rest is also something I'm trying to work on, but it's really hard for me.
It's hard for you? It's hard for you to do it?
It's so hard for me. I don't know what it is. There's something inside me that's just always like, you gotta be working
like to shoot guns and like.
Yeah, I can work 24 hours a day and still be like, fuck, I didn't do enough. Like, I don't know. I think something's wrong with me, honestly.
Do you have a job? Do you have to have a day job or no?
No, I don't.
That's good.
I've been so good. So before I moved out last camp, like 8 weeks out of my fight with Corey, I moved out of with my grandparents to my own place. But the whole time I was living with my grandparents, I was just shoving money in the savings. And then when I got to like the 50K, like I just put it straight in the savings. Like I haven't touched it. I act like I don't have it. And then like just little things come up. Like I just got a new manager, so he's got me a couple of sponsors that are paying me now. And then the UFC had me do like a shoot that paid me, so I'm getting money rolling in little by little, but I'm really like bare minimum type of person, Yeah. I bought a car after my last fight, but it was like $11,000. I just like give him like I had no payments, no nothing. Like I'm really diligent and on top of things, and I try to just be really bare minimum. So
I love the fact that you're in the UFC living with your grandparents. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, but you're like kind of like on your Instagram, you have like American flag, bathing suits, and you have guns. I would think that like I don't know, like Black Rifle Coffee or some of these like like you're like a dream for some of those sponsors, no?
Yeah. I think so. I like I said, I just signed with a management company literally like a week ago. So they've already got me a couple. I have never I used to reach out to them like in my Invicta days, but even like towards the end of my Invicta, like little Invicta career and like my beginning of my UFC career, like I don't know. I don't really like seek out sponsors,
All right, Shang, me and you are gonna be her like her guy.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta get some sponsors. Yeah,
we're gonna reach out to.
I'm getting like a bunch now. Like my manager just like I opened a package and I had like a bunch of like Beats headphones and shit. Like, so now like all I have to do is like make a post and like he gave me like 4 or 5 different like sets and I was like okay, like so I'm doing things like that and like. I have a couple sponsors now that like they're giving me some money to post about their stuff. So I finally have like I'm so stubborn. Like I'm such a control freak with my career that I didn't have a manager up till this point. But like Cheyenne's great, don't get me wrong, but this is my 3rd UFC fight and my 3rd time fighting a debuter. And
how did you negotiate a contract with no manager?
I didn't. And that's the thing is Mick Maynard would literally be like, Kate, do you want to fight Corey McKenna on November 14th? And I'd say, yes, that's it.
Oh, wait.
I literally, and this is how, like, if Mick Maynard said, Kay, will you fight tomorrow for free? I would be on a plane right now.
But don't you have to have a lawyer look through the contract or?
I never did. Like I said, I don't care. Like that's why I got a manager because like, I do not care. Like, I just want to fight. But I think I have, like, I've missed some opportunities or so. Like, I'm going to miss opportunities. And like I said, this is my 3rd UFC fight, my 3rd time fighting a UFC debuter. And it's like, man, like, not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what? You should worry. Like, I think you're right. Like, let the manager worry about that other shit. And that's why. And you worry about the fighting.
But that's why now I'm like, I don't even want to, like, you deal with it. Like, and the guys
are long. These are long contracts. So are you reading through them? What if they said you have to like give all your money?
So they got me on like a good starting contract. It's a little more than what they usually start people on, especially because I took the fight on such short notice that first time. So that kind of bumped the money up for me a little bit. So I knew the numbers weren't bad because I know the basic salaries, but as far as like everything else, like I had no idea. I looked at the money and I looked at the amount of fights on there. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I don't know what else is in there. Like,
God.
I mean, everyone kind of knows, like, with the UFC, it's like, okay, well, once I'm in the UFC, I can't fight for anyone else. Like, I can't, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel like I don't know, but now I have someone who can like legally handle that for me, so I don't have to. So.
Right, but Adam, she's focused on the fighting.
But but he's texting you, hey, you want to fight? Smiley face, and you're like, sure, LOL, and then you're in a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds like the most.
But the contract sent to me and I sign it. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, okay, that's great, but you don't want to be like in a 45-year contract.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could literally be right now, and I don't know. So
you haven't even read it.
No, I don't read any of my I mean, like I said, I look at the like all the important stuff, like the pay, the amount of fights, like XYZ.
Right.
But
the points that make a difference.
I don't know what the fight.
Right.
What if they're like,
difference.
what if they're like, you got to do 3 twerks after you win, and then you have to show your left butt cheek? I mean, you have to look at these fucking contracts.
Wait a minute. Why would that be in the contract?
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, you don't know what's in there.
Signing. I mean, I don't know about you, but
I'm just saying, look at these contracts.
I know, but that was a weird example.
I'm just
hey, make sure you look for the butt cheek contract. Look at nobody.
I'm just saying what I would put in the contract. If she's not
we would definitely put it.
I know.
But
I think that some
fighters, I think some fighters need people to just focus on like all that business shit, and just I need to be
that's
here.
That's partly where I'm at in my career, you know. And like I said, like I have like major trust issues when it comes to my career because like no one is gonna like value your career like you do. You know, no one's gonna care as much as your career about you do. But I think I finally found, you know, the company that's gonna take care of me the way that I would take care of myself.
Right.
So I'm excited to like kind of trust them with that. You know, they'll send me messages about sponsors, about fights, and I'll just let them do their thing because I don't know the industry. I'm 21 and I just want to fight. Like I said,
what management company did you sign with?
It's called Upgrade Team. I don't even. Wow.
You don't even know the manager?
No, I mean I know his name is Julian. Like I know him.
His name is some guy named Julian.
Marketing group.
All right. Do you want me to? I mean, I'm friends with Jason House. I'm friends with Iridium. You want me to like talk to some people? Well, you already have a manager now. You're good.
Yeah, I have a manager. I'm signed with him. He's already doing me really good. It's only been like a week, but everything has been really good with him.
Okay.
So,
good.
So
all right.
excited.
So last week I wrote a joke about Nick Newell. Okay. I said that Jake Paul wants to fight Nick Newell because he'll go for a guy Askren who has no hands to Nick who has one hand, right? So then this guy on Twitter, Ace, hits me up. He goes, "This guy should fuck you up." No joke or something.
I didn't say it like that. Nah.
Okay. So then I DM.
Kind of like that.
So then I DM the guy and I say, "Listen, I'm friends with Nick Newell. I hit him up. I said, is this okay?" He said, "No problem. Make these jokes. It's fine." I go, "Nick's been on my podcast like 30 times." And then the guy goes, "Well, can I do your podcast?" So now I can't say no because so I'm like, all right. So I said, all right, you can be on the pod. I go, "Are you a pro fighter?" And you said, "Well, I'm doing a pro jiu-jitsu match." I said, all right, good enough. So here we are. We have a guy who's a college wrestler, badass fighter, now a professional BJJ guy right here, Ace the Grappler. That's his name. His name is Ace Gonzales. How are you, Ace? You're here with Kay Hansen, pro UFC fighter, and Shang.
Oh, what's up?
Hey.
How are you, Ace?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of hungry. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of didn't like plan my day properly, so all I got is this shake for now. So.
Oh, all right. Well, that's very important. So now listen. Now, Ace, you're a wrestler for Johnson & Wales, right?
Yes. I graduated in 2019.
Now that's a very famous culinary school.
Yeah, they actually started off as a business school, so they're actually pretty good in business too.
Oh, because I was gonna say it's probably hard to cut weight at a cooking school, right? Because that's gotta be tough.
Yeah,
it can be, and some of the kids on the team are actually culinary majors, so like their class has got to be absolute torture for them. Just like food, not even able to eat it, and sometimes they do eat it, but then they got to go work it off after.
So you were a successful wrestler. How did you do in the nationals? Did you place in nationals? Did you?
Nah, I was kind of too old, man. I went back to college at 27, and I went to nationals at 29. I was blood round my junior year, and then my senior year I didn't place, but I made it to nationals both years. So was pretty cool. That's
hard to do. That's number one. It's really hard to do, and the fact that you went back at 20, I like that because that's like. Now, did you feel kind of weird being 29 wrestling with 18-year-olds?
Yeah, it was definitely getting to the point where I was like, I just want to get this over with, man. Like, I just want to be done. Like, I want to go and live my life and try at least attempt to be an adult.
But listen. Well, now you're a pro BJJ guy, so that you failed at that too. So that's no, I'm just kidding. That's pretty awesome because you got a big match coming up. Now, a lot of our listeners are jiu-jitsu guys. Is there money? Can you become? Is there a professional jiu-jitsu league? Can you do it?
It's starting to become a thing. It's like starting to become a thing. Like there's an organization that just started out in New Hampshire. It was a New England Combat Sports and Enigma Jiu-Jitsu. They kind of like put on this tournament, and that's what I did. I competed in a tournament, and they had some really high-level guys there. I faced this kid who's a purple belt from Hansen, New York. You know, trains in the basement with some of the best kids, not only in the country but the world. So, yeah, that was $1,000 stake for the tournament winner, and they did 2 brackets. They did 155 and they did 175.
Nice.
So that's just on the low end.
And how did you do?
My first match, I Kimura the kid.
Nice.
It was pretty nasty. I made the lady scream. It was so bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Wait, you went against a girl?
Nah. There was a lady in the crowd who screamed.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, you can watch.
But it did sound like you said lady, like so you're fucking up ladies now? Like, yeah,
hey man,
they step in front, how about that,
if they step in front of me and they can bang, then I mean, I'm sorry. That's just
you got it. Right. Whoever's in front of you. So you got to go against.
Whoever's in front of me. I respect them equally.
And then the second match?
Second match, I lost by back escape time in overtime. Yeah, the kid was really good, though. The kid ended up taking second place. He lost to a Hansen, New Hampshire black belt. So, I mean, those are high-level guys, very high-level guys. And I just got promoted to blue belt in December. So I was only blue belt for like a month before that match happened. Actually, it was a month and 1 day. And I did pretty well. I got a submission, and I lost in overtime to a very talented purple belt.
Well, here we are. We got a big match coming up, right, in March?
Yeah, I have a few things coming up. I have this kid, Brian Gilligan or something. I can't really remember his name. But, yeah, he's kind of bigger than me. He's probably got like 10 pounds on me. So it'll be interesting.
But where we gotta promote this. Like where can we watch it?
Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
It happens, man. It happens. You know.
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of just chilling. But it's gonna be in New Hampshire again at Enigma Jiu-Jitsu Academy with Christos Papadelos. It's going to be put on and aired online by New England Combat Sports. So check them out. They're really cool. That tournament's actually going to be sponsored by one of my sponsors, my CBD sponsor, Ultimate Potential CBD. Hold up, I got something right here. Here we go. I got to put them on.
Of course, let's do it.
This is a 2,000 milligram rub. Yo, this stuff, it slaps.
Got it. Okay, that's good. It slaps. I like it.
Slaps. This is the tincture.
Right. Now, what about the poster? I saw a poster of you.
Yeah, that one. I didn't make that. The guy from New England Combat Sports made that. He's really talented, man. He just started this organization like a couple months ago, man. Like that's gonna be a cool thing. Let me pull it up real quick.
No, I was gonna ask something.
I kind of literally just they're like, you want this guy? I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
I was gonna ask you, do you want to transition into any of the other ones, like MMA, the other organizations, or do you want to go to full MMA fighting?
Nah, I kind of had like a pretty bad head injury, so like for me, that was like it's been actually a pretty interesting year.
Did that happen today?
Say what?
Did that happen today before the podcast?
No, this happened like a year ago.
Oh fuck, damn.
Yeah, man, it's been an interesting year, and everything's crazy because COVID happened. So I'm not really interested in that at the moment. But yeah, so I'm looking at this.
Because a lot of jiu-jitsu wrestlers, they all transition into usually MMA.
Yeah. Everyone tells me I should do it, but like I don't know if I'm really interested in it like that. I like grappling. I want to go on the Fight to Win. I don't know if you ever heard of that promotion. They're really good.
Of course, I've heard of all these guys. Well, listen, get your shit together. I can't wait. Where can I watch you compete in March? I want to watch you. I want my fans to watch you. Let us know. Where can we watch you?
It'll be, you have to go follow New England's Combat Sports on Instagram. They will have all the information. And if you also want, you can follow Enigma Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Got it. So listen, good luck, man. Keep kicking ass.
You got it.
I'm a fan. Try not to get me beat up on Twitter anymore, Instagram. I promise I will. Nick Newell said I can make the joke. Okay,
right.
he didn't get mad.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And have a great upcoming weekend, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, brother. Take care. All right. See, if you want to be on the podcast, just threaten to kill me. So I like
He's
that.
almost got me 3 times because I was talking shit on Twitter because I still believe it. I thought that Anderson Silva should fucking retire because I just felt like he's at that point where
Shang, you're beeping again. Shang, you're beeping again. You're beeping again. For some reason you keep beeping.
No, I'm not beeping.
I'm not beeping.
Hey, do you hear a beep? I hear doo doo. Watch. Shang, talk.
What?
Yeah, I hear it.
Fuck.
See? You think
it's very faint though. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's me, and then I'm the asshole. But then
but I didn't know.
listen to the show and be like,
"No, wait, watch when I unplug."
Yeah, that's way better if we can't hear you. Okay, so, no. So listen. All right, let's talk about some fights coming up because I want to hear Kay's opinion because we have a pro fighter here, a girl who kicks ass. First of all, this week. Volkov versus my man All-Star Overeem. Who do you think wins this fight?
I'd like to see Overeem win it. I would like to see him win it, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay, thank you for that great in-depth analysis.
So the breakdown. I don't know.
I want Overeem to win too because he's a legend and he like responds back when I text him. But the thing is that I do worry that because he's saying I don't know how much longer I can do this, and I only have one run left in me, and this will be my last fight. When guys start saying stuff like that,
like 1 foot out already.
Yeah, I start to hear that like maybe this dude's not exactly. Yeah. You know, this might be, and he's fought. I mean, his record is 47-18.
That's so crazy.
And that's just in MMA. That's like your record.
Yeah, I'm gonna be one day. Give me 2 years.
Yeah.
6 months. Shang, who do you like in this fight?
I think Overeem's gonna get housed. I think that I do. I think he's gonna get housed because, and even in a couple of interviews I've seen, he just seems like he's like, I don't know. And you can't have that mentality. You got to have a mentality. Like, I love the way, see, me and him go back. Max Holloway is one of my favorite fighters. That motherfucker's a monster.
Yeah.
And he just has this attitude like, yo, let's go. Let's get it. And he doesn't sound like that. And you got to kind of sound like that because I think mentally he's going to get housed, man.
Yes, but this is not about Max Holloway. It's about
I always bring up Max Holloway because he's the shit. I think that last fight was awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Now Frankie Edgar versus Corey Sandhagen. This fight, I want Frankie to win so much. First of all, my wife's like, hey, guess what? Saturday, want to go to Santa Barbara and go to the zoo with the baby? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Meanwhile, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna miss all these fights. But it is what it is. I got to be a good husband and yada yada. Even though all I want to do is watch these fights. But I want Frankie to win. I can't pick against Frankie. He likes all my Instagram posts. He came to my comedy show. He's a badass dude. He's a good family man. His wife is hot. He's Italian. He's got 3 kids.
What is his wife being hot at?
Out of nowhere, just like random.
You just say some shit. I go, what? That's like saying, yeah, he got great takedown. Oh, by the way, his wife got great tits.
Have you met like a hot Italian girl? Is a fun girl. Like Italian girls that are hot are fun. They they put out, but they complain, but they're like fun and they always look good and they wear the right leather skirts and stuff. You know, right? I mean, I don't know if you're bisexual, but I'm assuming yes. Yeah, right? Like, have you ever been with an Italian girl? Okay.
No, I mean I'm part Italian technically, so
there you go.
Like Italian. So.
Yeah, but I don't. And the part about have you ever been with an Italian girl is like how you glossed right over that. Like, hey, by the way, and you're like, wait a minute, back up. But,
all right, so I got to root for Frankie in this one. Who do you think's gonna win? Okay.
I think I got Frankie too. I think it's kind of like new school versus old school, you know, but like something about Frankie, like he just has this like mentality about him that like not many like new school people have, you know what I mean? It's just like this like determination, you know. So I got Frankie. I mean, Sandhagen is great though. You know, his striking's great. His jiu-jitsu is amazing. But I think Frankie just got that like wrestler's mentality. You know what I mean? So as long as he doesn't get like caught in a submission, I got Frankie.
I worry about the chin is what I worry about the most because he got knocked out against Zombie. He got knocked out against Ortega. And Sandhagen has those spinning wheel kicks and those like ridiculously tricky kicks. How do you train for those? Like, how do you train for a spinning wheel kick to prevent?
Number one, you have to train with people who know how to do them. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like not a lot of people have that in their arsenal. I train with a lot of people who do it, like, thankfully, I guess. So like, I don't think if like someone ever threw that in a fight, I don't think I'd be like, whoa, what is that? You know? But I mean, it's hard because when you're training with your training partners, you don't want to like hurt them. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people won't throw those like malicious, like spinning fucking back fists and things like that. But like, that's why people probably get like caught in fights with them. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to control those in training.
Yeah, I've heard guys get mad at other people for throwing that. The guys like,
and everyone's different with like the gym etiquette. Like with me, like if I'm sparring someone, like you could throw whatever the fuck you want. Like we're sparring, like, you know what I mean? As long as like I don't like you have control with whatever you throw, but like, you know, some people like they think it's like gym etiquette to not throw certain things. You know what I mean? So like, I think it just depends on the person.
Now, Kay, there's all these great gyms around, and I'm sure you have a great gym as well. But there's the one in San Diego, and then there's with Angela Hill and all those girls.
Yeah,
and then there's King's MMA. And then there's what's his name with Carla Esparza Oyama. And then there's TJ Dillashaw's gym. But you prefer, and then there's the Riverside one with all the Armenian maniacs over there. But you go to like a small gym, right?
I go to Classic Fight Team right now, and that's my main gym. So they're out of Fountain Valley. So they're not too far from like Team Oyama. They're not too far from Maruka. And we get a lot of cross training in too. So like TJ Dillashaw and Juan Archuleta, they've been coming into Classic a lot, and I've got a few rounds in with them. So like picking their brains a little bit.
You got rounds in with TJ?
Yeah.
What was that?
He's so good. It's crazy. Like him and Juan, they're both so good. Like TJ especially, he just moves so fluidly, like from stance to stance, and like sets things up so well. Like, and I liked going with him because like he's controlled, but like he doesn't like go easy. Like a lot of times as a girl, it's hard because when you go with guys, either they go really fucking hard, they go too hard, or they go like way too soft, you know. But like you can't complain about either one as a girl because like, you know, it's hard probably for guys to gauge, but like with TJ and Juan and everything, like they have great control, but they also know how to like go hard. You know what I mean?
Well, I was trying to go super soft with this girl in my Muay Thai class.
They get offended. Yeah.
In a liver. I'm like, you motherfucker. Like. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too. So if I'm sparring with a guy and he's like making it like a point to like go super soft, like I'll kind of pick up the pace because it's like, of course, like I don't want a guy to go 100% on me because he could fucking hurt me. But like at the same time, it's like we can go. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah, but then when I was like wrestling and I was going like kind of hard, someone's like, "She's a girl," and I'm like,
yeah. I mean, and a lot of
balance. It's a balance.
And a lot of girls are different. Like some girls will get offended if you go too hard, but other girls like me, like I would rather you go too hard with me than too soft. Like,
well, wrestling, no one's gonna hurt you. You know, like I mean.
It's true. I mean, I've got some wrestlers who know how to hurt you for sure.
Yeah, but they're gonna it's gonna be uncomfortable, but they're not. It's not like going hard. I think you're gonna be taking head blows or something.
Yeah, like you're not getting knocked out or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would have, but at the same time, it's like, as a guy who's like 180, you know, if I'm rolling with a girl who's like 140 or 150, I'm not gonna use strength moves.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a dick. I wouldn't do that against a 140-pound guy.
Yeah, that would be considered a dick move if you did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever went up against a guy and submitted him and like he was like embarrassed or upset or?
Yeah, I mean it's usually with the lower belts, you know, like the white belts or like the newer guys. I feel like when like say they go like 100%, I'll go 100% back and like I catch them in something and their ego hurts a little bit. But I feel like once you get to the point where like most of the people I train, like if I catch them with like, you know, a head kick, you know what I mean? And like, everything's controlled, you know, so it's not like malicious or anything, but I feel like they kind of acknowledge it and they're like, oh, nice, good shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like you just have to like develop certain relationships with your training partners, you know? And then it's usually the people who usually get mad are usually the people like you don't really like have relationships with when it comes to like training partners. You know what I mean?
Well,
there's like random people.
The people who get mad, I call them bitches.
Yeah.
Why would you come on, man? It's like a woman can get you into any situation if she's trained and she's on it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys are not used to it though. I think you're right. I just think it's like for them, it's like, oh, you know, and then they don't realize how hard you've been doing it. How
it's like sometimes like guys will get mad and I could tell, and like I almost get offended because I'm like, man, you work a 9-to-5 job and I'm in the gym 6 hours a day. Like it's my career. Like this is what I do for a living. Like I fucking train all the time. I'm in the UFC. Like I hope I can catch you in a submission every once in a while. Like why are you so offended? Like you sit in an office and come train jiu-jitsu an hour a day, and I train like 6 hours a day every day. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it because like, I mean, I'm not obviously like I've gotten mad when I get submitted. Like you're hard on yourself, whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's like your ego has to like shrink when you.
Yeah, it's like, yo, dude, you were working at Yogurt World earlier.
Yeah.
You talking about? I had a girl that I trained with. I had a girl that was like a high level like black belt, and I submitted her because I was like, I didn't know. I was using strength. Like I just went up, and then she was like, she wrote me like she was like sad about it. And like she wrote me like a meme, like when a talented white belt submits you in a black and or athletic, and I go, listen, you're a legend in the sport. Like I'm 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
I wrestled in college.
You know, and that's the thing. So this is like an unpopular opinion or whatever, but people don't like to hear this shit. But when it comes to like women's self-defense or anything, like, okay, I've been training for 5.5 years. Like I'm in the UFC. I train every fucking day. But as a woman, like I know if I go in the streets, like 99% of men are going to fuck me up if I try to get in a fight with them.
I don't think that's true.
No,
I think that's 100% true. Because I've been in situations personally, like where like I'm experienced and like it doesn't help. Like, I mean, obviously
college wrestlers, 99% of college wrestlers. I mean, just the average man, I think you'd beat. The average guy doesn't train.
I don't know, because I've been beaten by like white belts before that come in their first day and they're just so fucking strong that like, you know, I can't do stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I think I don't know. It's a weird.
But the average person on the street, they wouldn't. Yeah, if they don't know, this average person on the street don't even know how to throw a punch. They don't even know how to throw a kick.
Yeah, so, I'm kind of with Shang with that. I think that we're giving the average man a lot of credit.
And they're not.
The average man,
I mean, in the face.
Especially if you could sort of tire him out after like a minute or two.
That's true. I will say that. Like the cardio would for sure fucking be the biggest difference. But I don't know. I don't know. I hear a lot of like differing opinions, and it's like maybe 99% was like way too big of a number. But I think like a lot of guys like with no experience, like I don't know. That's why like I don't get too frustrated. Like say I'm going with like a white belt or a blue belt, and they're just like a really strong guy, you know, and they just hold me down for, you know, a 5-minute round. It's like, why am I gonna get mad? Like I can't compete with like a man. You know what I mean?
I think that's also good for you though, because when you go up against somebody your weight, you're gonna kill the person. But I also think that you're not factoring in leg kicks. The average guy is not gonna be able to take a leg kick from you, a kick to the face, even like a deep kick or a front kick, a punch. Average guy gets hit in the face, and I mean, but at the same time, you go to a bar and some fucking roided out steroid guy that's like
of course.
Jersey Shore fucking Vinny guys that could clock you in the face. Sure. Yeah. But I don't know. I think the average man thing is like people are always like, man, Cyborg's like a dude. I'm like, most dudes don't look like Cyborg. I think you're giving dudes a lot of fucking credit. She looks amazing for like any type, like guy, girl. I just think that people are overestimating the men. And I know
the average Joe. I watched this something online where it's average Joes against professional fighters. And it was like a mall. It was unfair. It was like pistol whipping a baby. It was these dudes were killing these average Joes because they don't know how to throw a punch. They throw these looping bullshit ass punches. They would just come straight down the middle and fuck them up. So I don't know. I think you're right. The average dude don't realize.
But at the same time, I think that like the average college wrestler is just like, and that's the thing. It's like, and I'm not tooting myself, patting myself back for beating this girl. I'm not, because she challenged me, and I was like, I didn't want to go there. And then she's like, let's go. And I just basically just took her down, like neck cranked her. But like I wasn't trying to like go for a heel hook or a fuck. I wasn't gonna break her arm or anything. I don't even know why I'm telling this story. All right, so here's the deal.
By the way, Frank, I want to say Frankie Edgar was one of my favorite fighters because he's tenacious. And it was weird. I was listening to an announcer talk about him like, this dude just don't fucking stop.
He doesn't. You have to kill him.
I dig that about him.
Out to like. You
gotta shoot him with a bazooka in the fucking face.
Your corner with a sniper.
Exactly. If I seen him get knocked down 5 times, it's be like, oh, it's not over, bitch. And I like that about him.
But something about watching Frankie Edgar get knocked out just makes me so sad.
Really?
I remember the Brian Ortega, like when that finished, I was so sad because I just love Frankie. Like, and like, I don't know. Something about watching like the OG, like same thing with BJ Penn. Like when I watch BJ Penn like get knocked out or like turn into a heel hook, and I don't like it. I don't know. I'm
1000% with Frankie. There's something about Frankie Edgar that's like, he's like a Rudy if he was like athletic.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
Because they're like he's kind of that guy, but he's obviously a better athlete than Rudy. Rudy played 3 minutes his whole career, but like there's something about Frankie that just everybody, it's like he's like a real live Rocky Balboa, but like even more talented. And something about him that just resonates with you. Although I do think that the thing that I think could hurt him in this fight, ask for anybody, are those strange fucking old punches he's not going to see coming. Yeah. I feel like if the guy fights him straight on, he's fine.
I think it's the kicks. I think he has to worry about those kicks because it's the angles that he throws them. It's like, what the fuck?
Sandhagen.
He's no joke, man.
Also on this card, Cody Stamann. I love that guy. He's fighting Askar. I don't understand, like, nothing against people who are from the Middle East, but why name your first name after your last name? Like when you see someone like Muhammad or Askar, like that's the only name you could think of. Like it's already in the name. Like that's just something I never understood. I get it. I just find it kind of anyway. That guy's good though. This guy's 11-1. Stamann's a guy who just looks the part, tough guy. I think I want to say his brother passed away one of his fights, and he still came on and like one.
There was a story about it. It was a story.
Yeah.
I was a story about it. Yeah.
Really good dude, Cody Stamann. And I hope he wins. I really hope he wins. Beneil Dariush is probably the nicest person I've ever met in my life. Like I said last time, he spends his holidays going to third world countries and building churches for people. He's unbelievable. The guy and doesn't talk about it. Yeah. He's just that guy. And he earned his black belt in like 2 years. And he went and he beat like Crone Gracie, or maybe he lost by like a point or something insane. He's fighting Diego Ferreira, who has wins over Anthony Pettis. This dude is a monster, but never fights. He's one of those guys. I don't know if he gets injured, management, if he has a side job, he's a male stripper. I don't know what he does, but he just never fucking fights. But this fight.
Wait a minute. Why do you gloss over weird shit? He's a male stripper. I'm like, wait a minute. You're not going to talk about him working at a place?
I don't know what the guy does. But
Man Cakes. He works at Man Cakes when he's not.
Yeah. You seem like the kind of guy that would order a male stripper. Have you ever had a male stripper at one of your parties? You seem like the.
No.
Okay. So this fight.
You can't look like someone who has.
How do you look like?
I don't know.
You look like you hit people on their butt.
She seems like a very confident girl that would she seems like the kind of girl that would like hook up with you and then be like, all right, leave. I got you an Uber. And even though it's like your place, you're very hard to read. You don't get emotionally attached to men very quickly, do you?
No. Yeah. It takes a lot for me to get emotionally attached.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't trust a guy for the first 4 or 5 months, right?
No.
Yeah, you definitely have some dad issues. You don't even trust your manager.
I don't trust anyone. It's bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you thought about seeing a therapist or talking to someone?
I've seen a therapist before, but like, I don't know. I I'm really self-aware, you know, and like I know what I need to work on, and like you know, I'm getting better with it, but like I've always been pretty cautious, you know, just with people, because like people suck. So like I just keep my like little circle, you know, tight knit.
Did you not trust your therapist? Is that what happened? Did you not trust them either?
No, I trusted her. She was cool, but like I don't know. I felt like I was like paying a lot of money just to like talk to her, and I'm like, well, I could talk to anyone. Like, if she wasn't giving me like helping me at all, I was just like talking. I was like,
I see a therapist, and I feel the same way. I get angrier after my sessions.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, I just paid you to vent. Like, I could go vent to my mom, and my mom will give me better advice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or now I'm bringing up shit that I thought I dealt with, and now I'm angry about it. I'm angry about it again. Like, I'm talking about my wife for an hour.
I got past that, and now I'm back on it because you brought it up. Like, leave it
now
alone.
I'm even angrier now. She's like, well, obviously it was at the level. I'm like, no, now I'm fucking pissed because. And then my wife's like, you gotta stop seeing your therapist because you're getting angry every time you see her. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm dealing with shit. Now I'm like angry. Now we're in a fight.
A lose-lose situation.
It's
and you paid for it, and that's
exactly. That's the biggest thing. Is like, what am I? And it's expensive.
Yeah, it's the name of like my next album. It's a lose-lose situation. Honestly, I swear to God, man. Dude, Shang, you've been married 3 times. Did your wives ever get?
Oh, I've never been married 3 times.
How many times have you been married?
Once.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you have like?
As long as you know me. What?
Right, well, you have 2 kids from 2 different women. Oh yeah,
I have 2 kids. One was I have a one-night stand because I was drunk, and I don't drink. I drank one time. Chris Spencer said, "Hey man, let's go out," and that was one time, dude. So I was a mistake of one time, and then my other one, I was with her for a long time.
Now, did your ex-wife ever get mad at you for enjoying your life? Because my wife sometimes because she doesn't realize that I spent 23 years as a comic. I've been like spit on, booed off stage. Fucking booed before I got on stage. Just people, sent home early, fucking rejection. And I'm like, all that to get to the point where I could actually like enjoy what I do. And she likes her job, but sometimes she gets mad that I love my job. Did your wife ever get mad about that?
It was early on. I was younger then. No, she liked all the perks and the fact I was doing really well. So she enjoyed the perks. And then when I was like, no, you don't get all the perks, that's when she started getting mad, and that's when we didn't work out.
Now, Kate,
she's like, why can't I go to Philadelphia and be with you? Because you can't come to this one, and that's it.
Kate, do you mostly go for fighters or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I couldn't ever. I don't know. Like, I don't ever want to date in the gym again. You know what I mean? Like, because I like keeping that separate, but at the same time, like, I don't know if I could ever date anyone who doesn't like fight or like do jiu-jitsu or do Muay Thai, because it's like, I don't know, I live such a crazy strict lifestyle, you know what I mean, in the gym all the time, and I need someone who understands that, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I'm kind of just doing my own thing right now. I mean, relationships kind of suck unless it's like the right thing, you know? So, listen, and I don't want to force anything. So
yeah, dude, I was 38 before I got married. I went through all like the strippers and porn stars and threesomes. And
yes, he did.
I really miss it actually. And
no, I've known him for a long time.
No, I'm kidding. I know. You have to get it all out of your system, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to. I'm not like I don't have any like. I've never had a party phase, and I have no urge. Like I'm really picky about like who I like give my time to, like as far as like men and like. So I don't know. I'm just kind of doing my own thing.
I think you got to be with a guy that understands your focus more than anything. Exactly. Because if you're with a guy that doesn't understand your focus, like we can't hang out tonight, watch Netflix because I got to go to Muay Thai class. Yeah. And they're like, fuck, we were going to watch some fucking movies. And I can't. And so, I that's what I've realized with women, with me. I've just noticed, if you can't understand, I'm going to be on the road, I'm going to be out until 2.
Yeah.
Fine. And then
I also like my personal space. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's another thing is like my last relationship, we were like always together, and it's like, it was cool at the time, but like now that I like know how it's like to have my personal space, like it would be so hard for me to like I gotta make sure whoever I'm with the next like leaves me alone a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like I like waking up, doing my own thing, like and it's hard when you're in a relationship that's like you're always doing the same thing together, and like that's why I never want to date in the gym again. Like even if we both train, like we train other places, like we have different schedules, like because I just think when you're with each other too much, like it's just too much.
It's hard. I mean, even especially with COVID. I mean, it used to be like with the road, I would be on the road for a couple of days, and then me and my wife, we were all on top of each other, and then it's like, okay, then we appreciate each other because we're not around. But now that we're around all the time, she's like, when are you going to do the road? And even like with like sex life, even the girls I think about when I'm with my wife are bored in bed. So no, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But I'm just saying, you need somebody that like respects your space. Now, are you like when I used to cut weight for wrestling, I was an asshole. Like you couldn't go near me. I was just like, I was irritated at everything.
Yeah.
Is that how you are?
No, I'm pretty chill. I like my last camp, I was walking around at 125 like 3 weeks before my fight. So by the time fight week came, like I literally like the weight cut night, I had 1.5 pounds to lose. And like, I don't know, I'm not really like I know like I hear a lot about people like in the gym when like they have a fight coming up, they're kind of dicks, and like I'm not that type of person. Like, like I might be like in a bad mood when I get home, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna take it out on like other people and like be a dick. Like as long as I have my space to like be mad like by myself, then I'm good.
Now, I know Tito was your old manager. Did you vote for him?
No, I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to speak about that. No, I mean, and that's, I don't know. I want to talk, that's why I was like low-key traumatized by having a manager. He was only a manager, like, he wasn't like this lawyer guy that was behind like the scenes of doing legal stuff. Like, I just felt like there was like shady shit going on. And I'm like, that's why I didn't want a manager for so long. Cause I was like, man, I don't like, what are you doing? Like he was saying one thing and then the matchmaker was saying the other. And I'm like, why isn't this adding up? Like, and then I was like, why am I focused on this? I should be training. Like,
right. So Tito was your manager and now you know what a manager again. So he was manager for one day and that scarred you for the next 7 years.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Literally.
So Clay Guida is fighting Michael Johnson. It should be a good fight. Michael Johnson finds a way to lose almost every fight. He's got a record of 19-16, but 15 of those losses he was winning up until the last 8 seconds. Michael Johnson's just, I love the dude, but he always like is fucking somebody up and then he gets heel hooked or or he knocks himself out or he inhales chloroform or something. Sometimes something happens where he's just like passed out, the lights go off and he's like, it's like a WWE match. Clay Guida is a guy that like brings it every time. Yeah. I don't even know if the guy even knows a move. He just 100% all the time. He's beaten so many. He's a guy that beat Nate Diaz, beat Anthony Pettis, beat Rafael Dos Anjos. Michael Johnson's a guy that beat Dustin Poirier, beat Tony Ferguson. You look at the guys they've beat. I mean, they've beaten 5 Hall of Famers combined.
Right. Yeah. But Guida is like a can of Red Bull if it was a person.
Yeah.
Like he's constantly, and it's like, I just think people just go, fuck, I'm tired of this jittery bastard. You can't get a beat on him, but I've never seen him really have any technique. I just feel like he just overwhelms you with jittery, like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get you. He's like a gnat, if a gnat.
It's like walking angel dust, the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's just seemed like that, but I think he's going to lose, though. I think he's going to lose.
Dude, I used to train with a guy named Mac Danzig, and I remember my first day walking in. He was like,
I trained with his wife before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Mac was like a black belt, and I walk in there, and I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu. And he's like, want to roll? And I'm like, all right. And I kept taking him down, and he kept submitting me every time. And I was so fucking pissed. And I remember him coming up to me and he was like, hey man, listen, if it was a wrestling match, you would have won. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I guess I maybe should learn some moves. But Clay Guida, and then when I saw him go into the fight against Clay Guida and Guida just like beat him up, then you realize that like the best guy at your gym is like gonna get fucked up in the UFC. And that's when you realize how good these people are. You're like, holy shit. Kind of past their time. Who do you think wins this fight?
I got Michael Johnson.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think, like, I don't know. He's so good. I don't know. I got Michael Johnson. Clay, I mean, it's going to be exciting because Clay's crazy, but I don't know. I think Michael Johnson's a little better.
Yep.
He switched his training camp, Michael. He went from Florida to Arizona, and I think that's a good thing because when you have like 4 losses in a row or 3.
Sometimes a change of pace is nice.
Something's got to give,
Yeah.
It's not his talent. It's not his talent. Literally, if there's anybody that ever should have a mental coach, it's Michael Johnson.
Right. It's not his physical. It's not his physical. It's his mental.
And it's not even like he goes out there and gets dominated. Like a guy like Mike Pyle, who they said was a fucking monster at the gym, like beat everybody at the gym, would go out there and lose to guys that he would literally beat in the gym a week before. Just something about. And Michael Johnson's not even that situation because he's winning the fights. He just gets fucking something happening.
But just like if you look at Poirier said when he fought McGregor before, it was his mental because he got under his skin and he fucked with his head.
He was never in that first fight. Whereas,
I'm saying, but he got in his mental. McGregor was fucking him up mentally. This time, he's just seemed more mature. Like, oh man, that was the old me.
Of course,
this is now.
Yeah. But it's something about. But with him, it's like I think it's just like an ADHD thing, or just something where he just gets distracted, or he just like steps off the.
He gets distracted, like he's fighting. Go, oh, squirrel! Like, and then all of a sudden,
it's something where it's like he's like he lets his foot off the gas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But as a coach, that gotta be the most frustrating thing in the world. Right. I mean, because I know
all that talent and potential, in your fighter. Yeah.
Especially like I used to coach middle school wrestling, and there's a kid that would go for the head and arm every single time, and every time the other kid would figure it out after the first one and just basically arch up, and I go stop going for the head and arm, and he kept going for it. And eventually I just gave up. I'm like, all right,
but you can't get frustrated. I think that, I know before I would literally, the reason I would never continue to do it is like the pain afterwards. It was the pain of listening to my father fucking bitch at me.
The problem is that people don't listen. They're their own worst enemy. It's a matter of like just
being coachable and shit.
I was more upset about my father being disappointed than I was coach. Fuck
That's how I was for a long time. Now, like, when I moved to Classic after my first UFC fight, as far as my camps go, and like literally now, like I have so much trust in him that it's literally like he's like playing a video game. Like he'll say something and I just fucking do it. And like that's the first time in my career that I've trusted someone enough to like anytime they say something, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna do it. Like,
who's your coach?
Tyler Wombles.
Okay. Well, I know like Ashley Evans Smith, who I love Ashley. She's a good friend of mine, but I don't know. Like sometimes like I don't, she never uses her wrestling, and she's like an all-American, 2-time All-American wrestler, and she's in the striking contest.
Yeah.
And I want to blame the coach, but
I mean, I think that's more of like a mentality thing. Cause like, I mean, I spend a lot of my time, with Tyler doing a lot of Muay Thai lately, just because I feel like I'm playing catch up, because I grappled for so long. But at the end of the day, like, you got to stick to your roots, and for me, I started everything at once, but like my grappling is my bread and butter.
But now when you go to a fight, right, did your coach say, okay, plan A, we're going to keep it on the feet, right? If plan B, if that's not working, we're going to go to plan B, which is take the girl down. Yeah. And then plan C, which is like, all right, 2 lefts, 1 right, duck under to a fucking whatever, high crotch to a single to a dump on your head. Like, I mean, you guys have certain game. Like, is that how you guys do?
Of course, yeah. And like, I don't know, for me personally, we have like general game plans, but even for this fight, like with Cheyenne, like it's not like we're in the gym saying, okay, we need to get that takedown. You know what I mean? Like we're just kind of like, okay, like I feel like I'm pretty good at like adjusting on the fly, so like I'm just gonna go in there and do my thing, and like wherever it kind of goes, it goes. And like, say after the first round, if I lose, say I get taken down by Cheyenne and I get the shit beat out of me for the first round, like we're gonna go back to the corner, we're gonna like recoup, and like we're gonna come up with another game plan. I mean, the same stuff happens in sparring. So like I'll go 5-5s in sparring in the first round, say, I'm going against a guy or a girl who fucks me up, like, all right, let's fucking change the whole game plan for that next round. And like, so we do that shit in the gym all the time, so like, of course you have plan A, plan B, plan C, but like, I feel like you should be able to jump from C to A to B to like, you should be able to adjust and like trust your coach in that sense, I feel like a lot of times, like, specifically, like I know Ashley, she worked with Tyler a lot in the past. So I know Tyler really well, and that's my coach now. And I know how he is, and like he tells you to do you. Like just because he's the striking coach, he's not like, hey, go in there and knock this bitch out. You know what I mean? He's like, go in there and do you. If that's getting a takedown, that's getting a takedown. If that's knocking her out, it's knocking her out. If that's a 5 or 3 round decision, you know what I mean? Like he's super cool about. So I mean, I think some coaches will like kind of have an ego and be like, well, I'm your striking coach, so I want you to knock her out. But as far as Tyler goes, like, no, like he wants you to play into your strengths for sure.
You never went back to the corner and went, what the fuck was that?
I have, yeah. Like, I mean, I've like responding to like, what the fuck was I doing? Okay. You know, I never went back to my corner and been like, what are you guys fucking talking about? I've always gone to my corner and like sometimes I'll be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what is going on?
Right.
I haven't had a moment like that in a long time, you know, since I like Invicta days for sure. But I feel like every fighter has a couple moments, even like during the round when you're like, what am I fucking doing? Like sometimes I've had moments like I remember when I fought Aaron Blanchfield in Invicta, I was like in the middle of the first round and I had double unders up against the cage and I was just sitting there and in my head I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Do something. Like you have this position. Why are you not doing anything with it? And like, so I don't know. I for sure had those.
By the time you think that, is it too late?
What?
By the time that comes to your head, is it already too late?
Not necessarily. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, by the time you go back to the corner, you're like, well, that round was a wash. Like, you know what I mean? So like by that time you're like, well, I either need to win the next 2 rounds or I got to finish her. Like, so I don't know. But like I said, I'm really hard on myself. So I will literally like in my head after a round be like, well, let's forget about that round. You know what I mean? Like, let's, we got to
were you a fan of open scoring? I know Invicta has open.
Yeah, I really am. I don't understand why we don't always do that. Because like, why the fuck is it a secret? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to guess? Like, especially with like how shitty some judges can be. Like, you know, if it's like a close first round, but I think I won, like I want to know whether I won or not. You know what I mean? That way I can plan accordingly, you know? And I mean, it's not necessarily going to change how I fight because I look for a finish the whole fight. Whether I'm up, you know, 3 rounds, 2 rounds, down 1 round, 2, I'm always on the hunt for a finish, you know? So for me, like, it's not going to change the way I fight, but it would just be nice to know, like, wow, okay, I got asked out of that round, you know what I mean? Or like, wow, like they gave me that round. Like, it would be nice just like to like gauge where you're at. Like, I don't know why it's a secret. Like, you know what I mean? By the end of the fight, you're like, you don't get your hand raised and you're like, what the fuck? Like, okay, well, if I would have known that, then maybe I would have dove for a fucking
I think it's just give me a heads up. That's what I used to call it.
It's like if you're gonna
heads up,
then like at least let me know.
That should be the name of it. Give me a heads up.
I thought though that I was gonna lose interest in LFA or Invicta open scoring. I'm like, am I gonna care about this fight if I know who's winning? But I haven't. I'm not. It makes absolute.
To me, it almost makes it more interesting because it's like, okay, so this fighter knows they're down 2 rounds now. How are they gonna react? Are they going to fucking give up or are they going to like – because if you're down 2 rounds, you're like, if I don't get to finish this round, you know you're going to lose. You know what I mean? So I like seeing that kind of stuff. I like seeing like, okay, this fighter knows that they're down 2 rounds that they need to finish. Are they going to go for that finish? Or are they going to fucking give up and succumb and be like, oh, I lost? Like,
plus, I like the guy that like is planning on coasting is almost more susceptible to get knocking out or losing if he's
exactly. And that's another thing is like, and then say you're up 2 rounds, like, and you're like, okay, are they still going to look for that finish? Are they going to coast? And it's like, if they coast, you're like, come on, like give us something, you know? So I like, it kind of exposes character when it comes to fighters. So I personally like it.
I agree. Now, what do you think about the male ring boys in Invicta? Are you a fan of that or no?
I don't know. I think the whole like ring girl and ring guy, I think it's all kind of like outdated. I don't know.
I think it's stupid and goofy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know around it. I mean, if you're watching the fights, I think you know around it is. Like, I mean, I'm not going to hate on it and like be like, why do we have ring girl still? I'm not one of those girls who's like, that's so stupid. But at the same time, it's like why do we still have that? You know, it's like so strict about like everyone having a mask on, and then the ring girls are like with no mask, and I'm like they yell at our corners. Like if our corners pull their masks down, they get yelled at. Like really? You can't. Yeah, and it's like, wait, so my corner can't yell something, but the ring girls are like with no mask.
I don't like when they blow kisses. I feel like it's insincere. Like, I don't think they really mean it. Like I don't think they're really.
What? I don't need ring girls. I could just go to Hooters. I don't really need.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna hate on it, but I don't see the point of it anymore. But
yeah, no, I hear you. So Tyron Woodley, he has another fight coming up. Mm-hmm. They give this guy no breaks. Yeah. They got him against Vicente Luque, who's coming off a win over Randy Brown and Nico Price. Yeah. Fuck Tyron. I want Tyron to win so bad. I love the guy.
Yeah.
But man, you would think maybe they would give him a little bit of a lob, or a guy like a Donald Cerrone or something, where like not that Cerrone's an easy guy to fight. He just had a draw against Nico Price, but this guy Luque is a fucking killer.
Yeah, I got Luque that fight.
Man. Yeah, I think they give him these difficult fights because he had such a pedigree before.
Yeah.
I think because he was but you got to think Ty, he was a monster.
He also pissed him off, I think, a lot because he played hardball. Wasn't an easy guy to with contract.
Come on, I don't think he was playing hardball. He was a fucking champion. You know what I'm saying?
I know for a fact that he was not the easiest guy to deal with. I'm not saying from him.
As a fighter, though, everyone's always like, man, they don't give this person any breaks. But it's like, as a fighter, that's what I want. I want hard fight after hard fight or money fight after money fight. That's kind of what you like.
No, I agree with you, and that's what Frankie Edgar says. But according to Chael Sonnen, he said Charles Oliveira is doing the dumbest thing ever by saying he's going to beat Poirier, he's going to kill him, this and that, because he said what you want to do is when you want to fight like that, you want to make it seem like he's going to play ball and be an easy fight. Because as a fighter like Poirier, you want the easiest guy for the most money.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're saying.
I don't know how any of this weird business or show stuff works, how to sell the fight. I just know how to say yes.
So you don't want the easiest person for the most money?
No. Not me.
That doesn't make you better.
I agree, but I'm saying that's what Chael said. That
and honestly, and that's why I have a manager now. Because like I said, if they wanted me to fight fucking Weili Zhang right now, I'd be like, I'm on my way. I don't care. I want to fight the best, and I feel I don't know, I want to see where I'm at, you know what I mean? When it comes to everyone, and whether it's 5 days notice, I feel you should be confident enough in your training and your skill set to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere, that mentality, and to actually have the mentality, not just say you have the mentality, I mean, I know it can get you in trouble, but I would love to see where I stack up against the Joannas right now and the Roses, you know what I mean? I would take that fight for, freaking 50K versus a less of a name for more money, personally.
I feel you would do that for $8 and
I'd pay them to do that.
You can see the Jonas Brothers.
I'd be like, here's my performance bonus back if you give me that fight. I'd bribe them.
Right. Of course you would, because you're a real fighter and also kind of insane. Now, you know who I feel gets overlooked in the girls' division is Tatiana Suarez. This girl is undefeated.
Yeah.
He housed housed Carla Esparza.
Yeah.
Housed her. And I love Carla, but she beat the shit out of Carla Esparza.
Tatiana, she's so fucking nice too. She's such a nice person, and her style's not flashy. You know what I mean? She's a very strong southpaw who will get the takedown and but then she, I don't know what it is about her last 2 or 3 fights, but she learned how to throw some nasty elbows that just looks so scary.
National champion wrestler. She beat cancer. Yeah. And nobody ever talks about her. I mean, you wouldn't even know she's in the UFC.
It's because she's one of those fighters who just puts her heads down and work. You know what I mean? And that's why it's hard. Nowadays, I feel everyone's trying to put on this show to get their name out there and get their face out there. But it's man, someone like Tatiana, she doesn't talk shit. She's just we've been back and forth on social media, just friendly talk. We follow each other, and she's just super cool. And I feel a lot of people who are just put their head down and work, don't talk shit, they don't get noticed. And it's so stupid.
It sucks. So stupid. I had the same conversation with Colby Covington. When Colby was this guy where Tatiana was, I was Colby, man, you got to make some noise because no one's talking about you. And then he made too much noise. I know, but
hate your way though, so it's
But fucking Tatiana, I mean, I know she's coming off an injury, but I don't they were talking about Carla for Weili Zhang, and I'm wait, why would we not talk about Tatiana? No disrespect to Carla. I want Carla to make as much money. I love Carla, but the other was undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I missing?
It's also they want people that talk shit and they can market. They want people that have beef.
You market a cancer survivor, a Mexican American.
No, I know. I'm just telling you. That means more than the cancer or anything else. If you look at it, it's the people who talk shit and have beef, and then they'll get shots over people that they shouldn't get a shot over.
She should even she should call her the tumor or something. Like that should be her name or something. Like the benign tumor.
Tasteless, but I would absolutely watch that shit.
I love Tatiana. I feel like that would be a great fight too. Whaley versus Tatiana.
Because it's two incredible different styles. You got Tatiana's wrestling versus striking, and Tatiana's never been hurt. I mean, the girl that what's her name? The girl just had the baby that's married to what's her name?
Nina? Yeah,
Nina. And that was the closest she ever came to losing a fight, where she lost third round. But even that, it wasn't like that close, that fight.
Yeah, but if what I'm saying is that's not her fucking real personality and mentality, then you can't kind of.
Yeah, but there are people out there though that they're giving. I mean, Peter Yan isn't exactly the best shit talker in the world. He's got a title shot. Henry Cejudo is like the king of cringe. Eventually, he got title shots.
But he did talk shit though.
It just the thing about it is like, unless your fighting style is like insane, I feel like it's just gonna take people who don't trash talk a little longer, to get what they want and to get different opportunities. Because obviously, if I'm out here like running my mouth, like people are gonna notice me more and people are gonna hate on you more, and then that's the money fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, it's like you have to kind of weigh your options. Like, I know like it's a career and everything, but like, is it worth selling out who you are?
No.
For a little bit of extra money? No, it's not.
Right.
But it's easy, especially like as a young athlete or someone who's kind of stuck in their career, to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna run my mouth because it's gonna get me money. But then it's like for what though? Like for more money.
A lot of your colleagues having OnlyFans.
I'm big on the do you, I'm personally not going to do it. Like, I don't know. I feel like, there's other ways. But I mean, honestly, like I said, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Like, I'm not going to be on it. Like, do you? If that's how you're going to make money, then that's how you're going to fucking make money. Like
if you're a real shit talker in real life, then be a shit talker. Like Nick Diaz is really like that.
We're talking about OnlyFans. The girls are like showing their.
I know, but I'm saying if that's
I know, but we're over that. We're talking about girls showing.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, Adam. All right, I'm gonna remember that shit.
Like I said, I don't know. I would never do it. It's not even on my radar to do.
I like that because as a girl with father issues, who's got you're very prone to that. Okay, I can see people going, fuck you, Dad. Here's my ass. Who wants to see it? $12.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that you have morals and character and standards. Your grandparents did very well.
Thank you.
Whoever they are.
Did you just jump over her mom?
I know my mom.
Yeah, screw your mom, but grandma.
Your mom did a good job too. Your mom did a very good job because
Adam, you're kind of a nut.
Tracy Cortez, speaking of OnlyFans, may have the best ass in MMA. I'm sorry, not to. I mean, I said this to her face, or her, at least behind her. She came to my comedy show, super cool. She's fighting Justine Cush. She's the girl that took a shit in the octagon, literally, but was very cool about it. She got squeezed by Felice Herrig. Afterwards, she wrote "Shit happens," and then people laughed. And plus, it wasn't even like, I wouldn't say a hot shit, but it was messy. It was my situation. But so they're fighting. I feel like Justine Cush is like on like a 2 or 3 fight losing streak, and they're trying to build up Tracy Cortez.
Probably, yeah. I for sure got Tracy that fight. I mean, Tracy is very marketable. You know what I mean? She is like that, like Mexican American hard worker. Like, she puts her head down and works too. She's cute. She's like marketable. She doesn't really talk shit. She just kind of keeps to herself. But I feel like that's probably what they're doing. I don't know if that's the best fight to make. But as far as like stepping stones for Tracy, I feel like that's a good stepping stone for her.
Yeah, that's a lob. I think they're tossing her a lob.
Yeah, I mean, she's got good Muay Thai. Tracy's actually though. Her brother passed away. They were very close. He got her into fighting. Like, she's had a tough life. I look into her. She's not just some kid that like got stuff handed to her.
She's not like a silver spoon fed girl.
A really good fight that got made was Sadiq Youssef is a guy who is a star. He's a guy.
I actually got to take off because I'm going to be late for training.
All right. Yes.
Thanks for having me, and like, let me know.
Nice seeing you.
Where can people follow you?
K Hansen MMA, Twitter, Instagram.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you for everything.
No, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
That was Kay Hansen. I like her.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's focused.
So Sadiq Youssef.
Say some. First off, you say some hilarious side shit. Like, we've been around all the comics in the world. We've been around the biggest comics. You say some shit, I go, whoa, that was crazy, but funny as shit.
You got to keep it entertaining,
Yeah. No, of course. But no, it was just funny how you would say stuff, and then I would go, like, if we start talking about something else, I go, wait a minute, did he just say that? He did just say that, and she does have it. When I said it, she has a nice ass. Well, I didn't say it to her. I said, well,
Yeah. Well, I did. She came to the show with. First of all, talk about being Mexican. She had like 19 brothers and sisters, and like her cousins came. Her boyfriend came, who's got, I think he's like a national champion wrestler. His ears were like, I was in Arizona. His ears were like in San Francisco.
Right.
And she was super sweet and very, one of these girls that's like so attractive, you have to like look away. Like you don't.
Right. You can't stare at her too much. Right.
Yeah. You end up being lost.
Before her boyfriend goes, hey, dude, what are you doing? Like,
right. You have to be like, oh, just acknowledge the fact that you have to go look at her and go, yeah, she's really pretty, and then just keep it moving. Right. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's Paige Van Zandt's like that too, who's fighting tomorrow night in bare knuckle boxing.
I saw that online. Yeah.
She's getting more money for bare knuckle than she's ever gotten in MMA, which is crazy because she has some pretty big contracts in the UFC. I don't know where bare knuckle boxing is getting their money from. But I saw the post. It's like if you're getting 40K or you're getting triple that for. I mean, I asked her boyfriend about it, Austin, who's a great guy, undefeated fighter, her husband actually. I said, aren't you worried about your wife getting, really hurt in bare knuckle boxing? He's like, you know what? They don't hit as hard because they're going to break their hands. He goes, especially if you think about the women. He goes, there's not really been many knockouts in women's bare knuckle boxing because if you punch as hard as you can, then you're going to break your hand. Like in regular boxing, right. You can break your hand in regular boxing. It happens
but you still can. But you can bare knuckle boxing and you still get cut up though.
Oh yeah. You get cut up.
Cut up.
It doesn't do as much damage to the brain as like getting concussed. This is what the guy was trying to say, and he says he doesn't seem to be worried about it. What I'm wondering is how do you train for bare knuckle boxing? I still have not got an answer on how you effectively train because you're not going to train with no fucking wraps. You're just going to train regular boxing. And then what do you do when you're regular boxing? You throw punches half as hard? Like how exactly does that work?
You just go for it, fuck your knuckles, fuck it, and just be insane. That's what I think.
Well, I talked to Dakota Cochran, and he basically said he just hits the heavy bag with no padding.
Yeah.
And you basically get your hands as numb as you possibly can.
One of your knuckles ends up being one knuckle.
It's kind of like in Thailand, in Muay Thai, where you see these guys kicking trees to the point where their legs are desensitized to nerves so that it doesn't hurt when they kick anymore.
Right.
I assume that's what they do with their hands, but that seems like a fucked up way to make a living. I mean, I get it, man.
Yeah, but if you're getting that much money and you fight 2-3 times.
And you love it. I mean, no one's putting a gun to Paige Van Zandt's head and saying you have to go bare knuckle boxing tomorrow.
Right.
I would assume she has a lot of opportunities. I am surprised, actually, with how cute she is, that they haven't put her on. Is the CW still around or something? Like one of those like Riverside shows or a soap opera?
I don't think it's around anymore. I haven't seen it.
Or like a.
But she's beautiful, flat out beautiful, and I think that she could go other opportunities, but she fucking loves it. I saw the post, and she was talking about how much money she was making. And I was just like, well, if you love it, fuck it, go for it. But this is your moneymaker. Your face really is your moneymaker. And you're going to fuck that up.
With the Stars, she makes a ton of money in sponsorship. They live in Oregon, so it's like $11 to get a house there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she just wants to. She's just a badass girl. I mean, she's actually, when she came to my show with Austin, they were the nicest people. They were just like,
they were cool.
Oh yeah, I made fun of Austin. I go, she doesn't have one ugly bone in her body except for Austin's. I talked about how like him nutting on her face and this and that, just all kinds of just really pure and things that every girl wants to hear in public. And
of course,
she was totally cool about it. Like Paige Van Zandt's legit. Like, and Austin's like the goofiest, nicest guy ever. Her husband is just like, people from Alaska are just a different breed. I think it's 30 guys to every girl in Alaska. So if you're going to be good at picking up girls, you have to have a really fun personality.
You got to be super chill too. Yeah.
Yeah. You can, there's no way. I mean, the fact that he went to Team Alpha Male and left with Paige Van Zandt shows that like the dude's got something. Now, as far as his tattoos on his neck and his face,
that's something else. Yeah. That was,
but
I just felt like he went too far. That's what I think.
And I go, now you can see how much of a tool he really is. And then I just posted that, and he like retweeted it. I actually said Paige Van Zandt said that guys would never talk behind her back, and I'm like, yes, because they're staring at your tits. And he retweeted that. So like he's obviously
he's super chill. Yeah, he's super chill. Because some people will get mad like, hey man, fuck that. That's my wife, bro. Yeah. Let's bang, bro. Like the guy you had on the show was like, you should get knocked out for saying that joke. Come on, man. He didn't know he was coming on the show.
I had a joke I wrote last night like 3 a.m, and I always get nervous about jokes right at 3 a.m. because I'm like, my judgment isn't that good. I go, Chris Weidman beat COVID. It was his second big win in 5 years, right? And so I put it, and I got 100 like retweets, but then I'm like, Weidman always like retweets my stuff, comes on the podcast. I'm like, do I want to? So I end up taking.
But no, you gotta have. Come on, if they don't have a sense of humor and they just want to be a tough guy across the board.
I know, but now I'm calling him a loser and has COVID. I'm like, I took a double joke there. So
it's still funny though. Fuck that.
I DM'd him. I said, hey man, can I make a joke about you? I'm waiting on his like response.
Yeah, so I think that the guys that get mad, we know you're a badass. You're a badass. You're better than 95% of the people on the planet. Chill the fuck out. I'm saying 95 because there's probably some guys in the Ukraine I don't know about that are wrestling fucking like, animals and shit. So dude, like I just wrestled a rhino last year. Like that kind of.
You're not kidding about that.
The Ukraine has some weird wrestling gene. I know this sounds, I was saying that to a friend of mine, like there's something in them that they go, fuck, I'm harder than the world.
Dagestan. I mean, they were talking about it. Jordan Burroughs saying they don't have their schools are just wrestling. If you're good at wrestling, you go to wrestling school. So you wrestle for 8 periods a day. And then in recess, I guess you read books. It's like the opposite of actual school. And then if you do well, they take care of your whole family. And then if you don't do well, they give you a job that you don't even like the rest of your life. So it's like, that's how they motivate you.
Yeah, but they're just hard as fuck. I mean,
can you imagine if like the US had like basketball school where you just played basketball from when you're 5 to 20 for 8 periods a day?
We'd have 40 LeBrons. 40
every team. I mean, right?
Yeah, there would be. Yeah, but I mean, I know. Like if you look,
0 white players in the NBA. Like if there was a basketball school, like, cause think about how many kids are great at basketball, but like every town has like those, like that kid that could have been the best, but his grades weren't good enough and he got into drugs or he got
distracted. Right.
Girls, you got some girl pregnant. Imagine if there was like, all he did was play basketball for 8 hours, that kid. Like
he'd be a monster. Like that.
Wouldn't get distracted. Like that's all he would do.
Right. There's a kid, Zion, right now that he's the next basically big thing. He's going to be like a Kobe or a Shaq, or he's going to be the next thing. And that's why they were like, but he's so even keel and balanced because he actually is smart. So
he went to Georgetown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, come on. The funniest about Georgetown basketball is that Allen Iverson, who was like my favorite player ever, he's like the Frankie Edgar of basketball, in my opinion, is Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that was in jail his senior year. It was a bullshit charge. You got into a brawl at like a bowling alley. It was like such a bullshit thing. He was in jail for like a year as like a 17-year-old. But he went from jail to Georgetown. Like that's when you know, like, athletes, they're not really taking their scholastic seriously. Like, the best school in the world, one of them, and he goes from jail to them. Like,
well, he said, I read a lot when I was in. That's the only thing I could think of. When I saw that, I went, well, he probably was reading a lot. So,
I mean, come on. Like, if there's ever like a case of like, athletics trump everything, it's the guy going from jail to
it does. That's why I think that I was talking to people about. I wasn't saying that people in Ukraine, I just feel like their life is so hard, it makes them harder. And they like kind of prop up wrestling too. So it's like if you're already a hard-ass motherfucker and you wrestle all day, it's a combination.
Well, there was a guy in the Knicks that, like, I forgot the guy's name. I was watching it. Like, him and LeBron James were going at it. And the guy was like, I think he was like banned from his country. And like, there was like assassination attempts on his life. And so LeBron's smack talk isn't going to work on that guy.
Right. At all.
Like when guys from Eastern Europe and like they're growing up with like missiles aimed at their head and they're like dodging.
Right. It's like my mother was kidnapped yesterday. I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not going to come on. So we got a guy right now who is a 3-time Pro Bowl. This dude was a monster. His nickname was Lights Out, or it is Lights Out, because in high school, he made 4 kids unconscious in a football game. 4 in high school. So that, right? That's how they call it. That's why they call you Lights Out, Shawne Merriman?
Yeah, my sophomore year in high school. Back in Frederick Douglass. Yeah.
Now, go on.
You know, the thing is, it was no YouTube and all that stuff back then, man. But I'm sure there's some footage. I'm sure I got it.
Right.
Now, were the other parents of the team saying maybe we should take you could take that kid out? Like he's half our team's in the hospital now.
So I had one of the parents one time try to block off the field, literally try to expand their arm so I wouldn't walk on it, and told the coaches and was screaming to the top of her lungs that the coaches held me back 3 years and that she did not want me to play it on the field with her son. So that did happen before a few times.
Wow.
Wow.
But Lights Out is a great name. But like, I would have probably been like, if I saw that, then I'd been like, your name would have been, oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Did he just do that to that dude?
So Shawne, you're here with hilarious comedian Shang.
Hey, what's up, man?
We got the.
What's up, brother?
So you were also a basketball stud. You were ranked 3rd in Washington D.C. in basketball.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I came up and like from the same area as Kevin Durant, Michael Beasley, Nolan Smith. I mean, DeMar Johnson. I mean, so much basketball talent. It was mainly a basketball area. Then you started to see all these athletes from basketball kind of creep over to football. And then, we found a different spot there. I was growing here and, KD and all these guys, they were doing that.
Now, did you get recruited to any colleges for basketball?
Yeah. I had some colleges there. But I committed to University of Maryland as a junior. I didn't even take any of my visits. And I had offers from, just about every big college in the country because I was, rated in the country in, my junior year. But I was like, man, I wanted to stay home. That for me, that was it. I was like, you know what? If I don't go here, it's going to be like a Miami or Alabama or something like that, man. But at the time, like I was staying home no matter what.
And you ended up going to the Chargers and you signed an $11 million contract. At that point, are you like, I'm set for life? Like I never have to work again?
No, not really, man. Because, for one, I understood what taxes was early on.
Right, early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I had some guys in my corner like Ray Lewis, LeVar Arrington, all these older cats who were already in the league. So I got a chance to be around them. So what they did was early on, they kind of took me under their wing and said, hey, this is your pay, this comes in, your agents, the 3%, the taxes, your financial advisor, 0.5%. So I knew all this coming up already. So when I seen, and they don't pay you $11 million straight up, so they pay you, I think it was like 2 or 3 first, and then you get a salary of $2 million during the season. Then the following March, they give you another 3. So it's broken up into a, 3 or 4 year period. But yeah, man, I knew, I said I don't want to sound like an ass, but that's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when you start taking away all the stuff and expanding that over a 5-year period.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you, so the OGs basically kind of took – no, I was asking. So the OGs basically took you under their wing and said, hey, don't go buy a gold toilet. The fuck you doing?
No, I definitely bought me a couple gold toilets. That's for sure.
You still did it.
Oh, yeah, I still, because – and I tell anybody this. When you get your first piece of money – go do whatever you want to. Go whatever you've been thinking about. And I grew up at a time where you watching rap videos, and I also had like Allen Iverson that came from the same area. So I used to see him pull up in the Rolls Royce and all these, guys from that area. And I said, you know what? As soon as I get some money, I'm going to get me one of those. And that was my mentality. And then, I felt like that for the first 4 or 5 years. And after that, man, you come back down to reality. You're like, you know what? I don't need this shit. And that's where, you kind of get a little older and you don't want that stuff anymore. Then, all those things come in.
Now, you were hitting guys. I mean, you were sacking guys like crazy. You got Defensive Rookie of the Year. You're doing a dance. But then some of your teammates got mad. Tomlinson, who's like the running back of the team, says it's not appropriate. Like, were you like, come on, man, let me live?
No, you know what it was? It was the Patriots in 2006 who was doing my dance after they beat us in the playoffs. And so LT, Phillip Rivers, all these guys, I didn't see them doing it at the time. My head was down, so we just lost. I was crushed. My head was down. I look up, and I see in the middle of the field, I see like some commotion, so I don't know what's going on. I take off running full speed because I see Phillip Rivers and LT and all these guys getting in a fight, but they were fighting because the other team was doing my lights out dance. So that's how that was like the game of the day that I officially became like a Patriots hater for life.
That's hilarious. So these guys memorized your dance before the game?
Oh yeah, if you was watching film, I was doing it after every big hit, after every sack. So look, I'm sure it pissed some people off, and the good coaches know how to use that stuff as bulletin board materials. Like, hey, he ain't doing that shit over here. So, and that's what that case was. Bill Belichick had put it on notice that I won't be dancing.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
But you know what? It's weird. I hate the Patriots to this day. So I mean, I still. I hate Brady.
Saying you and 65% of the country. I mean, let's be real.
100%.
I just and Brady being in the Super Bowl, people are like, so you rooting for Brady? I'm like, fuck no. Is that messed up? I'm like, no, fuck no. I want him to lose badly.
Now, when I did your show, Sports Nation, that was so much fun, by the way. You were one of the guys in the show. And that's when I didn't realize how serious you were taking MMA training. Like, you legit now you were planning for a fight. You were going to do a fight. And then what happened? Are you still going to fight?
So what happened when I retired in 2013, 2014, I started to do it more. Like, when I was playing, I was just doing it during the off season. So, and I think it was 2006 or 2007 during the off season, I went to go train with Jay Glazer and like Randy. I walked in the gym. Randy Couture was in there. Tyron Woodley. A lot of these guys in the mid to late 2000s. And so I just kind of wanted to go in there and work on my hands. And, I'm a pass rusher. So it's really good to have aggressive and violent hands and being able to get past those tackles. So I just picked it up because I wanted to do it. And then I found myself doing it every single offseason. And then when I retired, I was like, shit, I'm going to go train and take a fight. Because I was 28, 29 years old. I still wanted to go. The problem was in 2012, 2013, like the guys, nobody was paying. They wasn't paying like that 7, 8 years ago. And as of this last, 3 years or so, you can go in and make a lot of money in the sport, because of the Conor McGregors and all these other guys, but also you got the Greg Hardys who transitioned over. And so it became more of a thing. But anyway, while I was training MMA, I got offered a bare knuckle boxing fight. A match. This was in like 2018. And I've been training boxing. I mean, I got both my uncles are professional boxers. So boxing in my household was it was normal. If you had a problem at a cookout, family reunion over, like we had the gloves. Hey, go get the gloves. It was no talking. It was none of that. It was like, go get the gloves. And that's how everything was handled. So boxing was right up my alley anyway. And these guys, 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, maybe 9 days, exactly 9 days before I was about to go fight. I've been training for 2 months. They tell me they want to pay me 50% of what I'm supposed to get paid. I said, that's not what the contract say. And I won't get on the plane unless you guys are paying me in full. And so that fight never ended up happening for that reason.
Well, they ended up screwing over everybody on that card. That was the bare knuckle card with like Baroni.
Chris Lieben. I mean, that card was stacked. It was a great card.
Right.
You were training to fight bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
Adam,
the truth is, I've been in like over 20 of those for free. You get what I'm saying? So when somebody So when they offered, I was like, okay, cool. Now you got to train a little bit different because bare knuckles, it's really easy to break your knuckles or break your hand or something like that. So I was training more and strengthening my hands for that. But, man, I was like, I've been in a lot of these in my life for free. And the money they were offering, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and train for a couple of months and, get in that shape, that type of shape. And I was ready to go.
I mean, you're still a huge name. And what, you're 36, 37?
Yeah, 36, yeah.
I mean, you're still young. Very explosive. And now, as far as like Greg Hardy goes, that's a good example. I feel like a lot of football players, whether it be Greg Hardy, there's a couple other guys, OSP was a college football player, Alonzo Menefield was a college football player. They got amazing explosive knockout power. So they kill everybody up front. They beat the first 8, 9 guys, and then they get to the next, the Volkovs. So then all of a sudden, I wouldn't say they get exposed, but now
they get exposed. Yeah, no, you're right.
Power is not carrying them like it used to. Is that something that you were prepared for?
Yeah, and then all that comes with experience. Like, Dana wanted me to fight, or Greg Hardy wanted to fight me, and Dana White wanted it to happen. This was a couple years ago. And I've talked to Dana White about this personally, in person before a few times, and we got a few mutual friends and people we know. So we first ran into each other at an event, and we stopped and talked about it a little bit because he had also seen that Greg Hardy had posted he wanted to fight me. And I was all down. 2 years ago, in my heart, I believe I would have whooped Greg Hardy's ass a couple years ago. But where he's at now, he's kind of transitioned. He's a much better fighter, even though he didn't look all that great this last fight and kind of curled up in fetal position. But for the most part, he's made tremendous jumps and bounds. Like, he can really go. He's really he was better on the ground. He didn't, after he fought for the belt, actually, at one time, he went, I think it was all 5 rounds. So he's had like some real championship rounds before, and it's that experience. So now I was like, you know what? I don't have to, like, at first I was all with it. I was like, you know what? I can go train 3-4 months and I can whoop this dude 100%, right? Because I was already in shape. I was already sparring twice a week. I just had to get into a fight camp and go and do it. And now I started to get busy with all the other stuff, with Lights Out, Extreme Fighter, with my league. And I told them, I said, look, I would love to go and fight, but I have my own league that I'm trying to promote and I'm trying to grow. We're former athletes transitioning into my league. We got a couple former football players. Chris McCain, who played for the Dolphins, played for the Chargers. He's 3-0 amateur. We got 2 more that we announced as soon as we get back up and running. So as you said, Adam, like, this is going to be a big thing in the next year or two, because like myself, when I retired, these guys can still go, and there's real money in the sport, so it's worth it.
How's your ground game?
That I just this past year, been taking it seriously. Out of all my time, I've trained, a lot of grappling stuff and a lot of Muay Thai, a lot of boxing, different forms. But this past year, actually, this coming March will be a full year that I've been doing it consistently, 3-4 days a week while I'm on the ground.
You're gonna be a monster, dude. I still want to. I know you called out Batista, right?
Yeah, but you know what? And I would have loved to fight Dave Bautista, but the problem is, he's obviously shooting film. He's making a lot of money doing that. And then, I don't know if he has an appetite to do it anymore. Yeah. I think that 3-4 years ago, whenever he fought on that stream in Russia, or whenever he had that fight, if I could have caught him around that time, I think he would have took the fight. I don't think he'll take it now.
So let's talk about Lights Out, because you got a promotion, and I was like, I didn't know really what it was, and all of a sudden I see it on Fox Sports. And I was like, damn, like, this is like legit. Because sometimes I thought it was like kind of a smaller promotion, but you're like, you got a deal with Fox Sports with your promotion.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, right? UFC is so big, and you got UFC and really Bellator, really the next.
Those are the
guys.
2 big boys. I think those.
Right. Those are 2 big boys out of it. And so, but there are other smaller promotions like us that are growing, that are, having these up and coming talent. I think over this pandemic, 4 or 5 of our guys fought for UFC, and like 3 or 4 of the guys fought for Bellator. Wow. So we are the talent. We are where guys start out at, and we looking to grow. And fortunately, because I was at Fox Sports on the football side doing the broadcasting, they had just lost the UFC, and UFC went over to ESPN. So I went up and I pitched them on what we did with Lights Out, and they loved it. They gave us a shot, and the viewership, man, we skyrocketed. The numbers were crazy. We actually beat out or tied the Anaheim Ducks in viewership our last couple fights. So for us starting out and for what we're trying to build and having these athletes transition from their, we got rugby players that's coming over here soon. We got a former track star and two big, social media stars is all transitioning into MMA, and we'll have their first amateur fights.
Who are the social media stars?
I can't announce it yet, because one of them is in a deal to fight somebody else, and it hasn't really been announced yet. But we will. I actually got to show him.
Logan Paul.
He can't tell you. He can't tell you now.
Obviously, Logan Paul.
No, it's not Logan Paul.
It's a deal to fight Mayweather. That's falling through. This dude's
he's not fighting Floyd Mayweather. He's not fighting him.
Got it.
But Adam, the thing is with Logan Paul, and people don't understand. I think he was a wrestler before. Yeah, he has a wrestling background.
Yeah, he plays in the states of Ohio. He's a really good wrestler, and he's a great.
I told Jake, I told his brother, I said, look, Logan should come over and fight MMA. He'll have a better shot. Him boxing, man, I was like,
I think Floyd Mayweather would have absolutely scored.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Floyd is on some other shit.
Now what do you think is going to happen with Ben Askren versus Jake Paul?
Honestly, and I like Ben. I like him as a fighter, and I don't think he gets enough credit because he got knocked out, in 5 seconds by Masvidal. But Ben got a lot of fights, and people just kind of seeing him in the UFC, but they didn't watch him in the other league. He has a lot of fights under his belt. The other side of that is people aren't taking Jake Paul seriously because it's the whole social media stuff, right? And I'm not saying that Jake can go and beat a 10-0, 15-20-0 professional boxer, but I've seen him spar quality boxers before behind closed doors. And before I actually seen him, probably over a year ago now, I thought the same thing. Everybody else, this social media fights, this shit is boring. It's a gimmick and all this other stuff. But the first thing I told his trainer BJ and then Shane Mosley at the time, who was training him at the time, and I said, this dude trains like a professional athlete. I was like, say whatever you want about it, but he trains like a professional athlete. And I seen him over the course of the year getting better. So with all that being said, I think that he's going to beat Ben Askren for sure. I think it's, I don't know if it'll go all the way. I think it's somewhere in the 5th or 6th round. He might get a knockout, but he's just more skilled as a boxer than Ben is.
Yeah, he's younger. He seems like he does take it seriously. He's not fucking around. And Ben Askren has no fucking hands. None. If they were wrestling, it would be a wrap. He would take his arm off and beat him with it.
Yeah.
He literally would shove his arm up his ass. But if it's just boxing, I've seen it. Like, even his form is just bad. Like, so I just think that I don't want him to win because I don't want them to win, but I think that Ben Askren
guys are so annoying. They're like so annoying, but at the same time, they're really good at making people not like them. I mean, they're amazing at it.
Adam, you need that though. It's like, so I see him and some of the stuff, I'm like, I always say to Jake, I say, dude, that's, that shit's overboard, and like, it's a little crazy, but at the same time, you got some of the greatest fighters in the world calling these dudes out. Think about this, man. You talking about somebody who's coming from the social media and entertainment world on that side, and you got Floyd Mayweather and all these guys who are calling them out. Like,
yeah, they're amazing at it. They're good at it. They're
great at it. They're the best. They're the best at it.
Like when they're saying like Mayweather, who impregnated your daughter.
But that's the shit I'm talking about. That's the shit that fuck that. How about I meet you not in the ring, but
everyone can't wait to see them get flatlined. But if they're smart because they're picking people that can't flatline them, or that don't.
Oh, right. That is true. You're right.
Pick Ben Askren. They're picking. Now you own a NASCAR team.
On the Canon series, I did. I had a driver and a team down there. I'm not as involved with it as much now. Because my driver moved up to the Cup Series. He's on Infinity, and one day he's hoping to. That's a whole different level of money there. I don't, I'm retired and I'm doing all right. But that's that's
that I created mayonnaise money.
Oh yeah. That's $300,000 to $500,000 of race money, and that's a whole But I've been around the sport of NASCAR, man, for 12 years now. I got hooked and I haven't left the track since.
Did you have the craziest life? And you tried out for the WWE.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I did. It's funny. I did a one-off in San Diego. They had a show. I think it was SmackDown it was one of the pay-per-views. I think it was one of the pay-per-views. They came to San Diego. I was still playing with the Chargers at the time, and I had some buddies who were in the WWE. They were actually some of the talent, and they threw the idea out there. I said, "Shit, I'm down." See, the thing is with me, you don't tell me no crazy shit, and it sounds fun. Cause I'm like, all right, let's do it. It's crazy. What do y'all want to do? Jump out the stands and swing this goddamn bamboo stick and hit some? Let's do that shit. I'm with it. We did. It started there, but then they got a great reaction. So, and they told me, said, look, when you retire, we want to start talking to you. So that happened, I think, in 2015, 2016. I went over to start hosting some stuff for WWE Network. The WWE Network had just launched. I forgot which year it was, 16, 17 or something like that. So I was going over there, but I was also training some at the WWE facility in Orlando, which is the Performance Center, which is crazy. I mean, it's insane down there. So, that ended up happening because I think at the time, WWE Network was struggling a little bit with subscriptions early on. And it was just a lot going on. And people don't understand WWE, that those guys travel 150, 200 plus days a year. Like it ain't, this is a whole different ball game that they're doing.
Why was it insane? Like you said, the facility was insane. What was insane about it?
I mean, it's like an NFL training facility, right? I mean, you got the gym, the rehab centers, the therapists, I think they got 6 or 7 rings, how many rings set up in there. So it's state of the art. You think about where wrestling used to be and those guys training down in Tampa years and years ago, where a lot of the older generation of wrestlers still live. It's nothing close to that. Like the one in Orlando, man, it's next level.
Right. Because the old one, they used to be in a barn and they would just get stitched, stitched up by the local doctor. And now it's like, no, we got the hydrotherapy we're going to do for you on your shoulder. Like, it's like a whole different level. I saw something online where I was watching, and they were showing the facility. I'm like, what the fuck are these? Like, it's one of those, what the fuck? It's at the level of the UFC.
Yeah.
Easy.
Very.
I would say it's even better in some ways. Now, in my favorite place to perform is San Diego, because the women there, it's like, they look like LA women, but without the attitude. I mean, just the most gorgeous women I've ever seen, all in shape.
I love working down there.
Now, you're a guy, you get drafted to San Diego, you got $11 million, good-looking guy. How do you fend off, because they must have been on you. How did you deal with that?
You don't fend them off, you go ham, Adam. That's what they call it.
He said, what the fuck I'm offending pussy off for?
I mean, we worry about getting girls pregnant and
no, not really that. So the thing is, first off, I come from Maryland and the Washington D.C. area. I come from Chocolate City. We're big nightclubs and big, big scenes, and you got celebrities and stuff coming in town all the time. I mean, Washington D.C. back in the mid early 2000s was what Atlanta is now, right? Like everybody go to Atlanta. It was D.C. at first.
I taped my specials there. I taped a special there. Yeah. It's everything you need. So I wasn't coming into where I was like, oh my God, where I never seen any of this stuff before. The only thing I haven't seen before is palm trees. I've never seen a palm tree in person. I've seen it on TV, but I've never seen palm trees. And when the Chargers flew me out, and that was the first time, I'll never forget going over the water, seeing the palm trees, and it was 75, 78 degrees outside. And I'm like, man, I hope they draft me here. And damn it, they drafted me. And I'll tell anybody, San Diego is the best kept secret in the country, in my opinion. Like as far as living, weather, like you said, good looking people, just the whole nine is nice.
There's a good military presence. So the guys,
great military presence, absolutely.
So what I'm saying, but it must have been threesomes galore and just women just trying to. I mean, there's no. The people say to you, "Hey, listen, just we have a game coming up on Sunday. Try not to fuck every chick. End it by Thursday. We need you to hit people."
Yeah, you had your day cut off.
Wait a minute, you had a vagina cut off day?
Bro, listen. Okay, this is the thing, man. You need your legs, all right? I wasn't, I wasn't playing when it came to football. I wasn't playing around. Like I would never, no sex night before the games, none of that stuff. Like the day before. Like I was always in tune when it came to that. So. Yeah. But when I got drafted, I was at the time I was the youngest drafted NFL player, or one of two, or something like that at the time. So. For that part of it, and like I said, I had older brothers and guys who was in the NFL, so that wasn't I wasn't coming into a lifestyle that I haven't seen for years.
Right, and you were focused. You were focused on like, let me get it done and prove my point, and then you could chill later. But I think when you first come in, you're young, and you get some people that really know their shit. You got to prove your point, and then after that, you go, I'm fucking everybody. No. Yeah. You gotta wait.
No, look.
No.
Look, you try to have as much fun as you can. But it was a different time. Like when I came into the league, it wasn't the camera phone, the record, it was none of that stuff in 2005. I don't think that got big until the late 2000s, early 2010, 12.
Huh? You lucked out.
So like you missed.
Yeah, you lucked out. So
yeah, because all that stuff now is just corny to me. You try to be fun and nice and surround yourself with people. And I love being around people. That's one of I just always love being around people. And then if you at the point where you can't even have fun because somebody's trying to whip out a camera phone or doing this, like all that stuff to me is corny.
Yeah, it's mad corny. Trust me, it's super corny. I think that. From what I've seen, and I knew you were coming on the show, I was looking at a lot of stuff. It just seemed like the way you played, you kind of had to be in your zone to focus on that, and the way you played. So I couldn't see. I'm this first time obviously time talking to you, but I'm saying I just see from the footage and everything I saw, you just seem like this, like, yo, I got to get this shit done. I got to rock these motherfuckers right now. I can't think about that shit right now. So. I don't know. That's the impression I got from you.
Yeah, look, if you know how to balance and you keep your priorities straight. Like for one, I've always loved the gym, right? I'm in the gym even still today. I'm 5-6 days a week. I'm in the gym, and so back then I was even more in love with the gym because I can like actually lift weights. Now you got shoulder, a little back, or a little knee, so you got to taper off all the stuff that I want to do and find other ways to work out. Back then I was just a young bull. And I'll go work out twice a day and bang 400 pounds on the bench and bang 500 to 600 pounds on the squat. And so with that being said, man, like that's always kind of been my savior where if you go out and have a good night and have fun or whatever, you're not trying to walk in the gym next day hungover all the time. Like that shit, it's no fun in that. You can't get no work done. So, but if you pop out every now and again and have fun and do your thing and all that, and you got a good balance with you, it's fine, man. And it was a good time.
I appreciate the honesty. Now, final question. Nate Robinson, right? What went wrong? Because it looked like
what went wrong. He ran into
it looked like a guy who did zero sparring. A guy that like hit mitts really well, hit the bag really well, but they weren't giving him real looks because when he got in there, either the lights got to him or he pumped himself up way too much, and then it was like he couldn't come down. But and then he was like, it was his natural instinct of like, I'm gonna wrestle with my big brother and hold him, and then get knocked out.
Listen, for one, it take a lot of, and I know the memes and everybody's kind of kicking Nate while he was down, and it was one of the biggest memes.
I hated that.
Yeah, no, but some of the shit's funny. I mean, some of it was funny.
Yeah.
And same thing. If I go and get my ass knocked out somewhere, I expect to be on somebody's social media. It's just how things are nowadays. You can't really take offense to that. But what I didn't like, I think what I didn't like the most is it gave former athletes a bad look, right? Because we just talked about there's going to be a lot of former athletes that transition into combat sports in this next year or two. I talked to probably 10 guys a week that have, kind of mediocre to big names that are contemplating on coming over into the sport. And what that did was now, back when I was thinking about fighting, the first thing anybody will come up to me and say, hey, remember Johnny Morton? Remember Johnny Morton that came and got knocked out and in 20 seconds, however long it was.
And he tested positive for way too much stuff in him too. That didn't help either.
All kind of shit, right? And it's just even more than that. If you test positive and you win, somebody might, okay, well, maybe he took it and won. You got knocked out and you still took all that shit. So, for me, it gave guys a bad look because now every professional athlete that's looking to transition over, they're going to be associated with Nate getting knocked out. And it's not going to be of the same respect level as somebody that's going to take it serious. And you're right, Adam, he didn't spar. From what I'm hearing, he didn't really spar at all. And I'm like, that's the number one that you have to do because you need live action. Those hitting those pads and all that shit look good, but you need timing, you need reaction, you need to tire yourself out and learn how to get out of situations and those things, which you can tell he did not.
All you do is spar. I mean, for him, it's like no basic combo and spar because you don't need to know a fucking 12-punch combo. You're in there, just basic combo and know what it's like because now I have a lot of guys, Shawne, like a guy like Isaac Valley Flag, the guy that we had on last week didn't get signed for the PFL. He came in second place. Alec, he didn't get signed. A lot of guys, Brian Caraway, ex-UFC guys are coming to me. They're saying, Adam, hey, man, I'm trying to get signed. Anyone, could I send them to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we won't have the big budgets like UFC do, but we got a great platform with Fox Sports, and we have it just show you what these other leagues, what they're doing with our fighters, right? If we didn't have a quality league, they wouldn't be coming after and getting our fighters. And we also offer guys a platform. We understand what the game is. We understand who the big dogs in town. And for me, I guess because I've been a former athlete, I got this. No, I'm not competing with anybody. I do what I do best and do what we do best over there, lights out. But at the same time, man, we're looking to build something different. There's always a place in the market where you got people that want to see new and creative and fresh things. And that's what we are. So yeah, we'll take those guys all day. And we're looking to get started back up. I'm constantly having over the past 30 days, 3 or 4 meetings a week on trying to get us started back up. But Kylie is kind of up and down as far as whether they want to stay at home and
it's been back and forth. Yeah.
It's been back and forth.
I'm going to send you like 10 guys, by the way. I got like 10 guys for you.
Bring them, man. We got a place for them.
I was going to say, you know what? I think that you come in with a lot more legitimacy than these other motherfuckers because if you look at it, these are ex-athletes that can make the transition because they already have the athletic skill to make the transition. And also, if you come from football, you've been busted in the face. And you, until you got what did Tyson say? Until you've been punched in the face,
they also want a selfie with you. I mean, they got you. You probably got the hottest ring girls, in California.
But I think
they're pretty good. They're pretty good, and they're nice, man. They're nice. They're really, really nice girls, and everybody had a great personality. And they Shang, like you said, man, football. And I'll tell anybody this: football is the most dangerous sport out of all. I got rugby friends. I got friends who fight. And I always try to make the correlation of what it feels like in football to compare to whether you get hit or whether, and make that feel. Look, I played against Lorenzo Neal, right? I mean, fullback. And Lorenzo will come up and level your ass, right? I mean, you come up and they're running a power running play or something like that, and you got to go head to head with him. That's a whole body collision right there. I mean, your head is ringing, you're discombobulated. And so if you've been down that alley already, going over to combat sports, a guy gets you, even in sparring some days, guys are like, oh, my bad, they slip a few punches on me. Or I said, look, dude, don't apologize. Listen, I did this shit for a living. It don't look like it, but shit, man, face-wise, I've been hit. So there's a lot of there's a lot of correlation and a lot of transitioning that's going to be happening in the next year or two. And I want to go out and get 5 or 6 former NFL players. I want to go out and get 5 or 6 former rugby players and guys who come from other sports because I've been around this sport long enough and I can help them transition into MMA and also give them a shot in lights out extreme fighting.
Now, do you have women too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What weight class do you have?
And I seen that. Listen, I don't know if you seen the other day with Stephen A. Man, that really pissed me off when he said about the women fighting, and I get that you got your views on women fighting in MMA. I get that 100%. But if you watch Stephen A's commentary over the last 5+ years about MMA, he's always had this stigma about MMA in general. But to blanket a statement to say you don't want to see women fighting, is every single woman fighting great? No, but every single man fighting isn't great either. So to say you don't
know that because he knows that people are gonna he's like a troll.
No, I think Stephen A. sometimes an asshole. Let's be real.
I mean, look. The reason why he's one of the top commentators is he says what he wants to say, no matter what the reaction of it is, right? And when you're at his position, you can do that. The problem that you're doing is, I think that women's grown in the sport of MMA. I mean, the Ronda Rouseys, the Amanda Nunes, all like Holly Holmes, and just Zhang, who was one of my favorite fighters to watch now. Just they're growing the sport as a whole because there's a fan base there that wasn't there 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
So when these fights happen, Joanna Zhang, that fight should be a top 10 MMA fight of all time. But between men, women, that was to me one of the greatest fights ever.
Yeah.
So when you say stuff like that, you blanketed a statement across the board, and to me that doesn't feel right.
No,
I think he discredited him. When he says shit like it, almost like it discredits him, and I think that's bullshit.
I have to know exactly, because at first somebody said he just said women shouldn't fight men, and then I go, but then someone said they looked into it more. No, he actually did say it. So I got to know exactly what he said, because I think the headline might have been misleading, but I have to actually look into it, because from the headline you're like, what? And then, because I kind of agree, women shouldn't be fighting men unless they both want to do it. If people want to fight, if somebody wants to fight a tiger signs a fucking contract. Have a fight whoever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way Stephen A. has been always I like him because he gets on my nerves though, and I just think that he's had this little bug under his fucking ass about MMA for years and years and years, dude.
Yeah.
He's always kind of acted like it ain't shit.
But his punching though is the funniest thing. I mean,
that shit he was doing was hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, Shawne, who are some of the, how do you do against, because you train in Hollywood, your gym has a lot of super high profile MMA guys. How do you do against some of the Randy Couture's and some of those guys?
Well, I train at Black House, which is in LA, and I've been down at the Body Shop in Long Beach. So you got a mixture of both. And we'll probably spar Friday every Friday at Black House. Well, normally every Friday I'll go spar there, and then I'll spar 1 or 2 days of work out and train down in Long Beach. But there's a bunch of Bellator guys down there. There's some UFC, so LFA and different gyms. But 90% pro fighters are in there, and so people, you got to understand, when people oh, you're doing that MMA, you got to go with somebody to know how to work. Because if you go in there just to knock each other's heads off, you'll never get no work in. You'll never learn. If somebody is pinning your ass on the ground and they're an expert in jiu-jitsu and they know how to keep you down and hold you down, they should be talking to you and telling you how to get up out of this, not kicking your ass every single day. Because when I first started, I had a problem getting off the ground with guys who were just wrestlers in jiu-jitsu, great jiu-jitsu. Just getting off of the ground, if they take you down, was a problem. Now, if they keep you down the whole time and they're not showing you how to get up, how the hell are you going to get up on Thursday if 2 days from now? What are you going to learn?
Right.
So if you go into the wrong gyms and you're not training with the right people, you just going to suck. And you see a lot of these guys so banged up and beat up before they even get to the fight that by the time they get to the fight, it's trash. You're just training at the wrong gym.
But if you're with Kenny Johnson and Antonio McGee Sr., those are some good trainers. I mean, those guys are obviously doing a good job with you.
Yeah, and you know what? I like it because they also understand too. First and foremost, I have businesses and I have a company, right? And I have stuff that I do. So that's first, and then the training part of it is second. So you're gonna come in and Jason, Antonio McKee, Jason Manley, all these guys who I train with on a daily basis, and Kenny and all these guys at Black House as well. They all understand, man. Even when I go in there and spar, I'm not going in there. We're not throwing haymakers, man. They're throwing bombs. If I get me 3 or 4 solid 5-minute rounds in of work, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for the general public, that's a lot of damn work.
It's exhausting.
Yes,
But do guys ever look at you as like, oh, this is Shawne Merriman. I hated this guy in football. I'm going to try to give him the business?
No, and that's why I don't go out in random-ass gyms, because you got that one person in there that can't wait to, throw my ass down so they can go home and get on their Instagram Live and start talking shit later on.
Right. You got to get with people that are cool and they know what the deal is, and it's a learning process instead of people that's trying to, like, make a name.
Of course. But there's always that.
But there's a lot of people that got that kind of bitch ass mentality where they.
That happens with like professionals too. Hector Lombard. How many stories we heard where that guy just like fucking throws people on their head day one, like, or even a football player that came out. What's his name? Walt Harris said the first time he trained with Eric Anders. Eric Anders is also a football player, and Walt Harris, they said, beat the living shit out of. They sparred first day of practice. Someone sparring, and then Eric's a national champion over at I think Alabama. Great football player. I think it seems like a lot of football players. It's a blessing and a curse. I think that it's a blessing because you have incredible fast twitch muscles, explosive power. You guys are well coachable, super humble. You're going into a new sport. Your instincts you can't teach the instincts. You can't teach. You have it. It's like when I coach kids in wrestling and they come from the things you can't teach. The bad part is that you didn't start wrestling when you were 5. You didn't start jiu-jitsu when you were 11 or 9. You didn't start Muay Thai when you were 18. So now you're playing catch up, but you have this physical strength that will get you out of a lot of problems until it won't.
But Adam, don't you think that I consider football like car crashes over and over again, where you're in a car crash over and over again. So if you've already been in that mentality where you know that you get smashed in the motherfucking mouth like pow, pow over and over again.
I mean, it's still a huge learning curve.
I'm saying, but you already had that mentality, so I think it's.
Sean, what were you saying? What were you gonna say, Sean?
Yeah, so the thing is, you're gonna go in there and so if you got a football player or somebody, they're strong, athletic, they're not walking in the gym with 2 left feet, so being able to move and look fluid and all that part of it is gonna be easy. It's the little things. Learn how to step into your jab. Learn how to do, turn over your jab, little stuff like that. Or when you're on the ground, learn how to use your hips, because the first thing you want to do as a former football player, you're used to squatting and benching and like against an offensive tackle or whoever you're going against, and that's how you gas yourself out and you lose. Yeah. But if you're calm, you understand leverage, you understand how to wiggle your hips and use certain motions. It becomes second nature. And also what you just said too, guys are walking in discipline. Like football players more than any other sport they're willing to learn, because nobody walked on the field. I didn't know how to pass rush until I got to college. I never even had one quarterback sack in high school. And I had to learn they put me at outside linebacker. They said, hey, you're 6'4", 225, 30 pounds. We're going to go out here and you're going to pass rush. And I'm looking at the coaches like, hey, how do I do that? Until after every practice, I was getting on those dummies and using my hands and opening. So you became good at it. So it's the same thing when you go over to MMA. You walking in, you're strongest. The first thing anybody will tell you, anybody I train with, they'll tell you I'm strong as hell and I can move and I'm athletic, right? They'll tell you that I'm kind of wet behind the ears when it comes to certain things on the ground, but I can go with mostly anybody as far as training, and those sparring sessions get turned up, and I'm okay with it.
Right. No, it's great. I think it's great, man. I think you have a lot of balls. I think starting your promotion is brilliant. I think that you're obviously good at business. You're looking at it as a long-term future. Whether you get in there or not, doesn't matter. You've already won. You've already you're already becoming the mixed martial artist. You've already become the science behind it, and like the religion, and like what you actually need to do is,
But Adam, you know what? No, I appreciate that. But the bigger thing is, if there was another former athlete or somebody from the WWE or another entertainer, whatever, that wanted to scrap, I'll start training next week. I'll get into a camp because it has to be a situation where I know people gonna watch. Like I first of all, I would never call out another guy who's been doing this shit for 15, 20 years, is now 20-2, 20-6, 30. I'm smart. I'm not stupid. I'm crazy. I'm not dumb. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I wanted to give something that the fans want. So if the fans wanted to see me fight another athlete, they wanted to see me fight a WWE, so that, or somebody in the entertainment world where they got a combat sports background, I'll do it in a second, and I'll put on a show and make sure that the fans
I know that Rick Fox called out Jake Paul Maybe you and Rick Fox might be.
I like Rick. So that's why I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Because
is it like a light skin thing? You won't fight other light skin guys?
Yeah, that's a whole lot of light skin on light skin crime.
Did you say that? Did you just say that beige on beige crime, bro?
All right, I got it. We got to find like an Akon or someone or like a DMX.
Oh yeah, let's make this thing a light skin, dark skin thing. I'm with it.
Yeah, but do you? I think that now that you got Lights Out, I mean, the way you're going about it by getting different athletes from different organizations that are ex-athletes, do you think the way you're going about it by getting people from all different sports is a good way? Are you specifically going after football players?
No, all sports. The reason why I keep bringing up the NFL side of it is because the transition is easier, and guys who are more prone. Think about it. The NFL career is about 4 years, right? And you got to play just say got to play 6 years, which is a really good NFL career if you play 6-7 years in the league. You're going to retire at 27, 28. That's you playing 6-7 years in the NFL, 29 being the latest. If you're under 30 and you spent 6 months to a year just focusing on your craft in MMA with everything else you learned from playing football your whole entire life, you're going to be successful. You're going and you're willing to learn and work every day. You're going to be successful. Now, other sports, rugby is a great transition. I have somebody I'm talking to is a former track star who ran track, who's also been training. So just different backgrounds of people from all over. And I think eventually baseball players, you got a few baseball guys that box and do stuff. So that's you have a base. I think everybody have a basis for some type of combat sports. Even if you just hitting the mitts, you're holding gloves, you're doing some light sparring, you got the the background to do it. You just need to take the craft more serious.
What about Shaq? Shaq wants to fight.
Yeah, I will fight Shaq.
Oh, dude. Shaq's a black belt. He's been looking for a fight. Shawne Merriman versus Shaq. That would be a huge fight. Oh my God, that would be a huge fight. I mean, he has you by 100 pounds.
Yeah, but Shaq.
That's fine.
Just I think Shaq would get his ass kicked.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that Shawne's got the speed.
Shaq is slow.
He's slow, but I heard on the ground he's a monster. I heard he's
he is. I watched videos, and then too. I mean, when he went against Shane Mosley when he had that boxing match a long time ago, Shaq he looked a lot better than I thought.
Against De La Hoya, against Oscar, right?
I mean, was it Oscar or Shane?
Yeah, it was Oscar.
That was Shane. Okay,
it was Oscar, but Oscar was all coked up. I don't know if you count that. So
yeah, Leah, whatever your pre-workout of choice is. So
whatever supplement.
Shaq versus Merriman and Lights Out fighting.
No.
That would
it would be huge.
Fight. Are you kidding? That would be the biggest fight I think in the world. That'd be bigger.
Look at the numbers that Mike Tyson. That fight, the numbers they got was impressive.
Shaq Merriman, that's a huge fight. That's the fight right there. That's it.
Yeah.
People on Instagram, Twitter. I don't know. Anyway,
well, I like your mentality, man. You're like, yo, if they said I'd get in the camp and let's go. Let's go. Let's do it.
To keep the range, but Shaq's so tall. It'd be hard to keep distance against him. He just can't grab you, right?
I know, but if you just get him with a few leg kicks, soften him up with some leg kicks, and then when he kind of starts leaning back, then you go in on him. I mean, I'm serious. That would be my plan. I think we should have a comics league where all the comics, but then they don't know who trained.
I'd rather watch Merriman versus Shaq than.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Well, listen, Shawne, it was an honor having you on, man.
Definitely, man.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Where can people follow Lights Out MMA?
Check us out at lightsoutxf.com. And then I still believe that Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket and a lot of the regionals the shows are still running. So definitely check us out there.
And if I'm a fighter and I want to get in contact with you, or if I'm an ex-athlete, how do I do that?
Hit me up. Just DM me on Twitter or Instagram or something like that, because I check a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, we get a lot of bullshit in there too. But I do have some quality people reaching out for different things. So hit me up on one of those social media, and then we'll start talking from there.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up. I got like 10 names for you. So
done deal. You got it.
Thank you, Shawne. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, man. You gotta take this. All right.
Yo,
that's a cool guy.
That was very cool. That was cool. You know what's cool about it is the fact that you was like, hey, dude, I got some guys I can send you. See, that's chill shit, man. Like, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I have so many fighters that are like Brian Caraway, Isaac Valley Flag, David, the Caveman Rickles.
Yeah.
They're like, and these guys want to fight. The girl that we used to have on the podcast, I know Kira Batera wants to fight. Alyssa Garcia just had a baby, but she's fucking badass. She fought for Ryzen. So all these people, and I think a lot of these people are too embarrassed themselves to reach out, or too proud, or whatever it is. They don't want to. So I'll be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a good look because the fact they got the deal with, that's a pretty big deal to get it right off the bat. Lights out is not.
Merriman's a winner, man. Like, he's a guy. Like, you don't get to a point where you're a 3-time Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year, and then be able to kind of like own a NASCAR team and then start a fight promotion. The dude's a hustler, man.
Yeah, he's a hustler, and he's about that shit, man. And the thing is, it's cool is he takes the MMA seriously too. He actually. You
think he beat Shaq though, for real?
Yeah, I think Shaq's too old. I think Shaq's too slow.
Shaq is too slow. I think Merriman.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
I couldn't hear you. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's our podcast. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can I just throw a quick promotion real quick?
Sure.
If you guys that are listening, if you get a chance, my comedy special Shang is coming on Amazon Prime February 18th. And if you don't have Amazon Prime, you might,
Okay, you got Amazon Prime. Yes, and you can watch my Throwing Punches on Fight Pass, as well as I'm at Vegas, at the Laugh Factory in Vegas, February 18th through the 21st. So
okay, excellent.
Thank you guys so much. Shang, you're the best. It was a 3-hour podcast today. You guys are the best.
All right, man.
Guys.